talk about. We'll just keep talking. We'll just keep talking. Just keep talking. Talking. For so long. We're babbling on. We're babbling on. Good morning, Babbling On community. Today I'm joined by a brilliant music critic, one of the all-time voices of culture, and one of the premier scholars on a very special woman named Stephanie, who, no spoilers, but we'll be talking. Please welcome the beautiful, brilliant, blessed AJ to the microphone.
Hello, thank you so much for that intro. Oh my god, I feel like it was fully undeserved, but I'll try to. I'll try to
humility's in the room with us today.
Well, she comes
it's
with
like
me.
That. Oh, she follows you around.
She is my fellow. Yeah.
Well, sure. I mean, it is the day after Christmas, so we all have a bit of
good tidings.
The sacred women, good tidings of comfort and joy.
Right,
comfort and joy.
Comfort and joy.
Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Oh, that was
what did you think?
Wait, that was actually really beautiful.
Do you think I have vocals?
I do think you have vocals. Which is actually why I'm so upset that we didn't get to go to
I know.
karaoke
I've been like feeling horrible about that. I'm like, why didn't we go?
You know what? It was very cold.
It was cold, and I felt
had,
tired.
Not to put other people on blast, but I feel like we had
people
plans,
were pressuring
and
us.
The plans did get like adjusted and changed.
Yeah, they got ruined.
And we kind of like followed the plans.
We went to Animal instead of to karaoke,
which
is one of those classic mistakes.
Yeah.
Let's do karaoke. Like,
yes,
it is. So we're recording the day after Christmas. It's
Boxing
like
Day.
those days. It's Boxing Day, which means
period.
What is Like that's when you like cut down the cardboard boxes.
And here we are. I'm already.
Let's do it.
Like
here comes the one.
Know. I do. What's so funny is that like you said Boxing Day earlier,
and you were like, what?
And I knew it was Boxing Day, and I was like, it's so funny that I don't know why that's called Boxing Day, but I made the conscious decision to not.
Look into and same. It. And I actually have been thinking about it a lot. I'm like, I should look up Boxing Day for this, and then it was like,
no, it won't.
That's a whole other topic that I can't go on the record about.
Right, I was gonna say we can let's just avoid that because we are actually about to get into some dangerous territory.
We have some things to do business wise right now, which is the first question we ask on this show is, who are you in the 8? Now, the 8, of course, means Carrie, Miranda, Charlotte, Samantha, Marnie, Shosh, Jessa, Hannah. Who are you in that?
So I debated how open I was going to be about this.
Yeah.
I have to, for me personally, it has to be the 4 because I have not done the work of watching girls.
Yeah. No, there's a certain subset of people who are like, I'm only in the 4.
Okay.
And they'll be in either side of the 4.
Right.
Actually, you'd be surprised how many are only on the girls' side of the 4.
Okay. Yeah. And you know
which
what?
is obviously disgusting behavior to me.
If
you're going to be one, you need to be Sex in the City.
You said it, not me, and that I'm glad you did because it's your podcast.
Well, I don't want to get you canceled, but I'm already beyond salvation.
Right. Okay. I appreciate that. No, I think that in general, I feel like I go back and forth. I think that right now I'm in my Miranda phase.
Well, you are a lawyer. So I do want to just up top say, like, we're in the room with a lawyer today. Which doesn't happen so often in this neck of the woods.
I don't. That's something I do on the side.
Which, by the way, like, you're my lawyer.
Yeah, let's make sure that everyone knows.
Let's just keep that.
Any legal questions for the podcast or for Hilton in general.
You're coming back on for a mailbag episode about like law.
Oh my god.
You know that, right?
Okay, well,
I know 3 lawyers. There's 3 lawyers that are close to me in my life, and I'm kind of thinking legal roundtable coming up soon.
Oh my god.
Or we're just like, so what is Roe v. Wade? I mean, I know what it is. And it was overturned.
Spoiler, right? It right now it's nothing.
It's not existing right now.
So yeah.
So you're a Miranda, but what was your debate between
Miranda and Samantha? I think that both of them have a both of their approaches to, I mean, men, I guess, like on the surface, but like life in general.
Do you have a Samanthan approach to the male breed? Is that what you're getting at?
I think so, because not insofar as I'm like out there on Grindr every night, but like I think.
Well, congratulations on that. Not all of us can say that, right?
But I think that like I like Samantha has like this. I see it as healthy. Maybe some people see it as unhealthy, but this like detachment from like men, and how it's like
where it doesn't
like
get to you.
Yeah, it's like an aspect of life that like you can partake in and enjoy, but like it doesn't
devastate you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Oh, that's so interesting. And that way, I'm far from Samantha.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually sort of a Carrie Charlotte these days.
Okay.
Because Charlotte, in the sense of like, let's go back to conservative ethos, not in the sense of political, but in the sense of like, let's cut the polygamy. Like, it's making me sick. And then also Charlotte doesn't have a job, so that's another big thing. And then Carrie obviously is like a psychopath with curly hair, who is like harboring over the past.
Right.
And so in those ways, I'd say we're kind of two halves of that spectrum.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't really say I'm feeling like girls much lately. Although Hannah, like, tweeting and kind of having, irritable bowel syndrome in those senses.
I think that, I would love to, I really do need to do the work of watching girls. I'm
surprised you haven't.
Yeah, I like avoided it in college for reasons that aren't actually even clear to me right now. Like, I think that I was just like, I feel like I went through a contrarian phase.
Oh, did you?
In college.
That doesn't sound like my sister.
I know, that's why I'm like, I feel like that's why I'm like, why didn't I? And I'm like, oh, because of that phase.
You had the phase.
Yeah, like I went through it, and we'll actually get into it today.
Yeah. I'm so excited to talk about this.
Yeah, but I think that I was just like, oh, a new show that everyone is living for and is like comparing to the greats, especially I think because it got a lot of
because it was the comparison thing with the quadrant and the New York.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Like, I know what I know. I'm #Taurus. I know what I know, and I like.
You're a Taurus. Oh, that's why we work. Because I'm a Scorpio with the Taurus rising.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So there it is.
There it is.
I was just like, yeah, I know. I think I got it. I don't need to get into this. I don't.
Plus, you're a New Yorker. Like, right, you're from here.
I was also going to
say. And you're from Brooklyn.
You're not going
to memory serves. Yeah.
So I was like, you're not going to teach me anything new.
Babbling on.
Can I ask the sacred question then, which is, AJ, what are you babbling on about today?
Today, I'm babbling on about a very important...
a
very important project important piece of work in my life and in others.
Sure.
And definitely in hers.
Well, yes.
Despite her claims to the contrary.
Oh, I need to hear about the small claims court.
Yeah. I'm talking Artpop. I'm talking Lady Gaga. I'm talking Stephanie Joanne, Angelina Germanata.
Yeah. Stephanie Joanne, Angelina Germanata. Not to be confused with Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore.
Okay, wait, guy. No, you kind of ate that. That was really...
that was good.
Yeah,
like, I'll give myself flowers.
As you should.
I can buy myself flowers.
Yeah.
If I need to.
Yeah, no, we're talking about Artpop.
We're talking about Artpop. Which, by the way, there was a recent episode that is heaven with my sister, Sammy Cap, where she wanted to talk Artpop as well. And there was kind of a fight over who would get this topic. And you had dibs. And so she talked about art in the sense that she has an art gallery, and then pop in the sense that we talked about like some modern pop classics. But you earned this topic fair and square, and like it's really important. It's actually the first Gaga album to be covered on the podcast, which is crazy. Yeah.
Okay, so now I feel like I really have to bring my A game.
Well, yeah, I sort of just like ruined your life by saying all that
a little
shit.
bit.
Like, it's over.
What's crazy is
that episode's ruined.
I don't know I remember if I said this to you, but like I haven't been on a podcast before.
I know.
And so I
do know that.
Did not know. I was like, okay. And it wasn't until I was on the train over here with the goodie bag. Yeah.
We're drinking mimosas that AJ so graciously supplied.
I had to do something.
Yeah, it is Boxing Day.
It is Boxing Day. It wasn't until I was on the train that I was like, oh, maybe I should have like taken some notes.
No, You shouldn't have
committed anything to
I'm sorry,
writing.
but it's carved into your spirit, this
You're
album.
so
Like, I
right.
know that. Like,
That's
you know,
true.
and I actually really didn't take notes either because I was like, normally I do for topics, but I was like, you know what? Like, I know this back
Okay.
in my hand.
Okay,
so,
there you
like,
go.
we're good.
Okay, yeah.
Plus, I feel like, you know, I mean, I didn't know that she had gone on record saying, like, Artpop is divorced from her in that sense. What did she say?
She
exactly?
said, "If and I need to make sure I'm quoting the tweet properly."
Well, we kind of just say things and
then-
take them as truth here, even though obviously, like, we support truth and facts on this podcast, but it's kind of
Capital
like
T, capital
when it's
F,
us
yeah.
talking, it's like, yeah, that's true,
Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
So what she said was basically, I think she just tweeted, "I don't remember Artpop,"
Oh, I remember this. I actually do remember, and it's
and
like,
everyone was like, "Girl, what are you talking
and it's like,
about?"
first of all, you do
Yeah.
like that was like a 2-hour period of your life,
Yeah.
2-year period. Did I just say hour? Oh, I'm not.
I mean, it kind
feeling
of was
right.
a 2-hour period of her life as well.
Well, she was in Chicago at this juncture in her time,
Yeah.
and she was doing a ton of drugs.
Yes.
If I'm getting things correct.
I do believe you're right.
Which, you know, those are
Who
two
among us?
really intense things to do.
Okay, yeah, true.
Chicago and drugs.
Yeah, I've only done,
I've done, well,
well,
yeah.
I
So, what now?
yeah, speaking of podcasts, yeah, so I don't know why. I mean, I know that, first of all, that was obviously a tumultuous time in her life.
Yeah.
And then also, if I remember
Thank God.
correctly, if I remember correctly, like when she tweeted, "I don't remember Artpop," that was also a tumultuous time in her life.
Because she was like, what was that?
It was like,
Pre-Stars Born?
no, it was post. I think it was post Stars.
Maybe it was pre-Chromatica. I mean, because Chromatica,
I think it was pre-Chromatica.
she was talking about how hard of a time she was having writing Chromatica.
Yeah.
And then she healed herself through the danceful nature of the songs, which Chromatica is one of my favorite of her albums.
It's a
I'm gonna
good
keep it
one.
real.
I feel like
it's really consistent.
It didn't get its due because of the time that
Yeah.
it came out,
Yeah,
obviously.
and yet it holds a special place in my heart because of the time it came out, which is COVID,
Mhm.
which is a whole other conversation, the Chromatican candidate.
Right.
But can I back us up a sec?
Yes, of
Because I
course.
feel like we need to actually get things a little bit straight here, which is, when do you first approach Stephanie Gaga? How does she come on your radar? How do you find your way in? Are you an immediate stan? Was it from the fame that you knew? How old were you when the fame reached your orbit? And then we'll walk towards the art pop of it all.
Yeah. So, in the beginning, the first time I remember seeing and hearing Lady Gaga.
Necklace just broke?
Oh,
Don't worry.
Not a good.
That's a really bad sign.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about it.
No.
The first time I remember seeing and hearing Lady Gaga, because it was the same time, was 10th grade.
Okay.
I was in high school we had like a rec center type thing.
Yeah.
And
Like
so
a gymnasium?
No.
Oh.
No, it was like a.
It had different things.
It was like, what are they called? Like the foosball table?
Oh,
like,
sure.
that kind of-
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah. I know foosball.
Like a game room.
Yeah, that.
And there was a TV at one end of the game room. And I remember I walked in with my friends and we were like, okay, like, are we going to play pool? Are we going to play ping
Foosball,
pong? Like,
ping
what are we
pong.
going to
Yeah, what are we going to do?
And, sorry.
No, please.
And like the TV was playing. I guess like it just was playing throughout the day. Like someone just put some
What
on.
channel? Like Fox News?
Well, I think that this channel was, I want to say MTV. I don't remember
Okay.
exactly. But I want to say MTV.
So music
because-
videos were kind of playing. Okay.
Right. And the music video that was playing was Just Dance.
Uh-huh.
And I remember seeing it and being like, who is this girl and what is she doing?
Yeah.
And I don't think at the
Wow.
time that I was, I think I was still closeted.
Oh, so you would soon not be? Like you came out in high school?
I came out that very year.
Oh,
Well,
you
did I come
gagged in
out?
that
Actually, I
way.
don't. Well, I came out to some people, and then I was like, I actually don't have to come out to anybody.
I'm
not
so
going to.
jealous of your strength.
Well, was it strength or was it me just being? It's most of it is laziness because I was like, that was really like
I can't keep up the charade.
I came out to like my 3 closest friends at the time, and I was like, that was so stressful. Like, I don't want to do that again.
It's exhausting.
So I just was like, I'm just gonna be gay,
Yeah.
and then people won't have to ask because I don't want to
Wow.
do it. Like, you can just
See, I should have done that, but instead I was like to myself, like, I don't know what I am, and like refused to admit it to myself for a long time.
Mm. Well,
were you 2016, class of 2012 in high school?
2011.
2011, okay.
Yeah.
So you were, because I was 9th grade when this was happening.
Right.
So yeah, okay.
So I saw this, but I bring that up to say that like I saw it and I was like, oh, like I was
Your
I was just
interest
filled with
was
some
piqued.
yeah, like my interest was piqued. I was filled with like a feeling of like, oh, this is one of the girls that I should know. And I don't think, obviously I didn't think of it in that way now because now my brain it only speaks gay.
Right,
like,
now
I don't
we're
know.
speaking about sacred scrolls.
Right, like,
But back then we were like,
know what language I was.
There's a music video.
Right.
like that.
So, but I was like, okay, like, whatever. And then, like, that's how she got into my head. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
And then
like,
did you go listen?
throughout?
I mean, she was on the radio at
She was
this
on
point.
the radio. I wasn't really listening to the radio at the time.
Oh.
It was giving. I had my iPod, and I
Very
Taurus. I just had the songs that I had.
Which
and I would
were, if I may be so bold? I
listen.
mean, maybe just one or two.
No, I'm trying to remember. I mean, it was very pop punk. I had like
Paramore.
Paramore down.
Yeah,
Fall Out
it was
Boy down,
Paramore at that
Panic
point.
down. Like,
Yeah. Oh, it was them.
Yes.
So it was
the trifecta.
those. It was the Trinity.
It was the Trinity. And then like, but it was also like Beyonce, obviously.
Sure.
Because it's, oh my god, it's actually so funny because last night
it's time.
Michael and I were talking about, see, I'm gonna babble on.
Let's babble on. Like, that's what we're here to do.
Okay,
Like,
and-
people shouldn't be shutting up or following a coherent train of thought.
And I could never
So
do either
let's
of
do
those, so,
the
okay.
work.
Last night I was talking to Michael about how it's funny that Artpop was, so when we started college, because that's how I met him.
Yeah.
He was a little monster and I was in the Beehive.
Oh, so you were refusing to go monsterial because you were in the honeycombs.
And I wouldn't say it's because, but I was just saying like, I think in my mind I was like, I have my one.
Well, at those times, the
it felt like
loyalist
you-
syndrome, and to this day, I'm
Yeah.
a blind loyalist, so like I won't indulge in certain practices because I have to stick to my. I mean, like, for what I'm trying to get at is like, I'm Harry Potter, I'm not Twilight,
Right.
You
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
and
it's like,
you were Beehive, not
not
monster.
Yeah, and which was.
Oh,
and
that's
like,
so interesting.
And I was saying to him last night, it's not that I didn't like her, and it's not that I didn't respect her, or whatever. I just was like, well, I cannot be.
You don't have room,
Right.
And plus, it's like it would go against your,
Right.
military alliances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would be branded a Benedict Arnold and whatever they did with him. I don't
Who's
really
he
know.
again? Whatever.
Someone. I
Right.
don't know.
No, I get you.
So,
So you enter college.
So I enter college.
So I guess Fame and Fame Monster have come out, maybe even Born This Way.
Yeah, so
And
by the
you're
time I
like-
entered college, Born This Way had just come out.
And were you gagged
out.
on any of it? Or you were still kind of avoiding...
So I lived for Fame and Fame Monster, but throughout high school, I was like not actively listening. I wasn't like...
But you were alive.
But I was alive, I was
Yeah.
hearing, and when I heard, I'd be like...
And you weren't throwing stones at a woman on the street.
No, I was definitely not a woman on the street, and not even a woman in the music video. Neither of those women.
Because the music videos, I do have to say, especially regarding Fame Monster, that's what really will hook a woman into the room, which is like, I mean, Alejandro, Marry the Night, and the Born This Way era. Like,
Come on.
that's where you're going to discover that art has the power through pop to form people.
Yeah. That's truly.
So you get it.
So I get it. So I'm like listening. I'm like listening passively throughout high school,
Including Born This Way?
Born This Way came out, and I think I was saying last night. I think that Born This Way, I didn't give it its proper due at first.
Yeah, people didn't
Because
of religious
specifically-
connotations.
No,
Oh, okay.
I was like, girl,
Yeah.
because specifically of the title track.
People shit on that one.
Yeah, I like even at the time. I mean, now I feel like it's kind of. I feel like she's kind of pulled away from it a little bit.
You mean the political component?
Not necessarily the political component, but like the kind of ideology of it was. It felt very like
On the nose? Is that where you're getting at?
maybe like I was gonna say maybe like reductive
Okay.
in a way, like
Oversimplifying.
oversimplifying, and also like kind of it felt
Transgendered life.
Very, yeah, like I was gonna say it felt very hashtag. Maybe this isn't
I can
how
babble
would-
anything out if it becomes
No, I
incorrect.
was just like, maybe this isn't the term that we would use today, but I feel like at the time it was very like hashtag white feminist.
Oh, okay,
Like, you
sure.
know,
like,
they're,
well, when she goes like black, Orient, Chola.
Chola. I was like, girl,
It's like, wait,
we actually
slow down. Of course, me in high school at the time being like, you just saved us.
Yeah, no, and I think that a lot of people did,
And I
do
low-key
feel
still
like,
think that.
I do feel like it had an effect, and the effect is undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I got red for Phil. I remember when she, not to jump ahead, but
No, please.
Was it 2017 that
That
she
would-
did the Super Bowl?
Somewhere around there, and we're also looking to Joanne Tees at that time, I'm thinking.
I believe.
Or was Joanne 2016?
No, I think it was Joanne and Tees because I remember her giving a little bit of like Americana.
Yeah, that's what she was going for, is like mass appeal,
Right.
cowboy hat.
And so she did the Super Bowl, and she did,
Born This Way.
She did Born This Way,
Yeah.
and I remember tweeting like, we have to move past Born This Way as like a viable political statement in 2017.
Yeah.
Because like at that, like even whether like regardless of what it was at the time, in 2017 it's like, okay, I think we've moved past this like, understanding.
I will just say though, it's kind of like, I feel like so many people on this planet are so stupid that like all they can consume is oatmeal instead of foie gras, if you catch my drift. Like they need it that boiled down.
Yes. And I agree, which is why I think that like maybe it was kind of necessary when it came out.
Yeah.
But
I mean, at that time, like, gay was not okay.
Yeah.
Like,
it kind of still
it still isn't. Like, low-key, I'm sorry, but it's, like, still hard to come out.
Yeah. No, that's true. And that's like when people were yelling at me being like, oh, it must be nice to, like, live in, like, a city.
Right.
Where, like, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I'm not disagreeing with any of this.
Oh, so people dragged you.
People dragged me.
That must have been hard.
I ignored all of it. I'm not the kind of girl who goes back and forth on Twitter.
You have that gift, I'm feeling, which is, like, the gift of, like, I don't need to let that bother me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're right. I mean, I think that I'm very... it's very easy for me to just be like, okay, girl. And
Well,
just
right.
move
I mean, because
on.
ultimately the thing about you is your tea.
Right.
Like, you're piping
Like, I've
hot
said it
tea
because I
in a
know
cup.
it to be true.
Yeah.
And if I don't know it to be true, I will say, like, I don't know this to be true, but I'll
Right.
still say it.
Right.
But I've said it, and I'm not changing
I'm
what
not
I
backing
said.
down.
So, for us to go back and forth,
Right.
it really doesn't.
So Super Bowl happens.
Super Bowl happens, I got eaten up. Anyway, so Born This Way. So I didn't give Born This Way as much due as I should have because of the title track.
Yeah.
Which I think, I was going to say, is definitely, I was square in my contrarian phase too.
Oh, this is when you were contrary.
Yes, I was like,
Oh, that's so terrifying. I can't picture you that way.
terrifying.
Like, why am I trembling? Like, that's not you.
It wasn't me.
You're true to your heart. And, like, there's contrarians out there who are just saying the opposite opinion in order to rile up the daughters.
Yes.
And that's not you.
I don't know if I was that far. I don't think I was saying things just because.
Well, it's kind of a necessary, like, phase, actually, for a true thinker is to be like, no, what if that isn't true? Like, what about the other side of the coin?
Yes.
And I've been contrary, too.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing wrong with being contrary. I think I was being a contrarian because I was like, specifically in like, people would be like, oh, this is a new thing, or like, this is something that's happening, or this is like a new whatever. And I'd be like, I don't trust it.
Yeah.
We're not.
You didn't want to just jump in without thinking.
Yeah.
I get you. Because, I mean, in the same way of girls, I was slow to jump on board. I actually think Born This Way, I was a little slow to jump on board. A lot of Lana's albums, Gaga and Lana are my number ones, and I'll just need to share, like, well, I'll go back to my Gaga story in a second, but I've had my own phases of being slow to the table with things, and so I get it.
Okay.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, like you said, I feel like if you actually do think about things and take the time to like really,
it's good to be a little
consider
hesitant
things, you
sometimes.
should have that.
You don't have to dive right in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think maybe I was doing it to an extreme extent.
Yeah. You made a mistake.
I made a mistake.
Let's just admit that.
I'm
like,
atoning
you
for it
didn't
now.
do something correctly there.
Yeah.
But here you... So then... Well, before we get into you and Artpop, I just want to... Because I actually don't believe this is public information on the podcast.
Okay.
I was a 9th grader in high school when The Fame debuted.
Uh-huh.
quickly became obsessed, quickly was discovering the music videos and like really horny for the guys in the music videos and gagged by her and the imagery, and was kind of all in. And Fame Monster was kind of emerging as I discovered her. And I remember Bad Romance and like a string of singles on the radio, like Just Dance, Poker Face, Love Game, Alejandro, Bad Romance, all coming out, and me being like, I'm gagged. And when Bad Romance came out, I couldn't understand what she was saying, and she speaks some in French, and I was actually thinking that she was speaking gibberish, and I was like, holy shit, she just reinvented the form because she's like doing a gibberish song, and I was so gagged. I later came to understand she was speaking English and French.
Which honestly, what the difference is very slight.
It's
it's a very slight difference.
But I was like, holy shit, like this is like, she's speaking Simlish, like she came up with a new idea, which is like not saying words, and I was completely gagged. And from then on, I'm a blind loyalist. And so, like, basically, I was like, this is my number one, and I'm just going to love everything. Born This Way, I remember coming out and being like, because I went to an all-boys Catholic high school, and I hate religion, and I hate especially Catholicism. And I was like, fuck, I'm even though it was like subversive, obviously, and like she's fucking Judas in the video and stuff, I do recall being a little like, I hate that there's so much like referencing to Christianity because I don't want to think about that.
Right. Like, out of sight, out of mind to you.
Yeah, but I still loved it, and some of my favorite music video is probably Marry the Night or Alejandro, but so Born This Way was heaven, and then now we arrive at Artpop, and I'm a sophomore in college, and you, I guess, are a junior.
I'm a junior.
And it comes out, I did write this down. I think it was, I did take a couple notes, which is, let's see here, November 6th, 2013, Interscope Records. So this is the turning point for you?
So what happened was,
What happened?
It's so fun. I guess
Hillary Rodham Clinton.
I was preparing for this last night, so that's why so much came up last night.
Okay.
By preparing, I mean like thinking about it.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Michael about how, like I said, when I started college and when we met, we talked about how he was a little monster and I was in the Beehive.
And did that cause friction between the two of you when you met?
No.
You guys were bigger enough people to not let that define.
Well, because side note, although we both were loyalists, we both also were. Oh my god, what are her
open?
What are her? I can't remember.
Oh, Katie cats? Oh, no, Azaleans. No, don't with Katie.
The cunts.
The cunts.
That's what.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Michael, for anyone who's not aware, this is Michael Kuby, a very formidable culturist who we recently figured out what his topic is going to be on the podcast. And it's going to be heaven,
But so right. So we each had our, but I think we bonded over Azealia, and B, we just were like, you're a girl who knows.
Yeah, like you get it. I mean, of course, like a legendary day in the history of human civilization is when the two of you saw each other and found a new way to express.
An iconic moment.
Yeah, of course.
But so anyway, so we had gone back and forth. We were like trading barbs like the whole year. Being like, oh, like you like Gaga, you like Beyonce, whatever. Like obviously in fun, but like whatever.
In jest, and yet there was some truth there. I'm not gonna lie.
A little bit of truth there. Yeah. Okay. When Applause, which was the first single, leaked, I want to say it was August. It was like the end of August, maybe.
Oh, Applause leaked.
Applause leaked. I want to say, I think it was like a week early, but like it leaked.
Okay. I do want to say like, and we'll get into this, but Applause was not the correct lead single, if you ask me.
Well, I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm not that good at like,
marketing
and like keeping that in mind.
You're not a publicist.
I'm not a publicist, and so I don't know if it was supposed to be the first single, if it was,
or if the leak triggered it. Oh,
because I remember, because famously, that's her famous tweet, "Pop music emergency."
Oh wait, I'm not even up to speed on the sacred text.
My god. Okay, wait. So I've seen. This is why I wish. First of all, side note, I deleted my Twitter. So, like, usually I'd be able to go back and I did.
Oh, but I've been, like, using your Twitter as an encyclopedia for years.
Oh.
So where is Encyclopedia Britannica, then?
Okay, so this is the burning of Alexandria.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so...
I was opening my mouth to say that.
In that case, then I'll just remake it.
Okay, so did you deactivate it?
I deactivated it.
So it's still available.
Yeah, and what's funny is I deactivated it in November. And then I reactivate, because like you have, I don't know if you have deactivated before, but like you have like 30 days.
Oh, this happens to me with Facebook.
Okay, so
my Facebook is gone. It's
Okay,
in
so you-
ashes.
you
It's
went
not
past the
available
30 days
because
yet.
it's 14 days when you
Okay.
delete Facebook.
Yeah.
You have 14 days to change your mind. And then on the 15th day, I was like, wait, I don't want to lose my Facebook, like all my photos, all my life. And it was
they
too
were like-
late.
they were
There's
like,
no
what-
way.
What
And I
photos?
tried.
What
No.
life?
Like,
they were like, that's
Middle
gone,
school,
babes.
high school, college, all those
my God.
photos, they're gone.
That's,
Everything, all those
yes.
connections, it's
And like
gone.
even the ones, I mean, I guess all the ones that you posted, but even the ones that you were like
tagged in.
like obviously like they still live on somebody else's Facebook.
Well, right, but
Like, it's,
also
like,
low
your
key,
tag
like my
photos.
contact list of like all the friends I had on Facebook, like I can't even really Facebook stalk people now. Not that anyone really does, but like I can't find people because I'm only friends.
Nobody's-
I made a new Facebook, but it has like 100 friends, and so like I don't have like a wide spanning
yeah.
you know, family tree or whatever.
Yeah,
the
like
fuck.
I went on Facebook recently for the express purpose of stalking.
Yeah.
And I got distracted because like the first 5 people I saw on my feed, I was like, oh my God, I haven't heard about this person in years.
No, totally.
So yeah,
it is ancient. But anyway,
so I deleted my Twitter. Why did I bring that up? Oh, because I would just go on
you
Twitter
would
and
go.
like, search the
And
tweet.
so she said pop emergency.
See, yeah, so so Applause leaked and she tweeted pop music emergency all caps.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
she understood.
then she was like, okay, well, I'm gonna release it then if that's the case.
So she released.
And so I
early.
think she like officially released
That's
it
cool
early.
of her to think on
I mean,
the
I think
spot like that.
that's cool of her. It's also like I hate leaks. I hate
leaks.
I'm going to get on my soapbox. Like I
All right,
really
do it.
hate a leak. Like it's not. I'm just like, you can wait to hear the song.
I
If you
know.
want to hear the music if you want to hear music from this artist, especially if it's like someone like Gaga, she has 3 other albums.
Yeah.
Go listen to those.
Which,
for a
thank you for
week?
saying 3, because on Wikipedia you'll find that Fame and Fame Monster are lumped as one album, and I'm sorry, that's just not true. That's not the case.
I decided that I'm not getting into that debate with Wikipedia. And
I'm
her
a
girls.
staunch, like, those are two
Those are two
separate albums.
different-
And so,
yeah.
like, talks of LG7 coming out, depending how you count it, we're actually way farther along. We're closer to, like, LG10.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Stars Born soundtrack counts as an album.
okay.
And then all the jazz is, like, take 'em or leave 'em, but those are albums.
That's an album. That's those. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Jazz is our album.
And then Harlequin is low-key an album. Not that I'm listening.
Not that I'm listening
No
at
shade.
all. No, but it's an album for sure.
Oh, there is shade.
No, there definitely shade does exist.
Shade
and
happens.
We can call it out.
Shade happens.
Yeah, no, she's. People do have this tendency to like, I don't know if simplify is the right word, but like. Yeah, it's like, oh, we're just talking about the pop albums. It's like, okay, well, but she
Right,
put
it's
out,
like
she
she
put out
is
other
an artist
projects.
who has other projects. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I listen to the jazz albums
No,
often, but
and
like they do exist.
Exactly, right.
And I'm not an eraser. I'm not
No.
like a pink pearl eraser. You know, I'm
Period.
a paintbrush actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, she releases it,
So she releases it,
and the music video is heaven, by the way.
very much that.
And I
don't-
was
don't
told
remember
it
when
was
came
filmed
out.
in black and white and colored in post.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's true.
I think that would
But I have a little monster
would
friend who
gag
told me
me.
that, and like, because you know that's the music video for
with the
with the face paint
Yeah.
and all this shit, and there's some weird shit which no shade to weird shit, but
Yeah.
she is like on the head of a goose,
Yes.
and then she has that beautiful pink dress with the
Yes.
spotlight. But there's a lot of color in this video.
It's very colorful, which is why that gags me that you say
yeah.
like.
There's
I
also
mean,
a lot of black and white.
There's also, but that's why I was gonna say I believe it because there is a lot of black and white.
Yeah.
I could see how they would just add the color in later.
Except
even
the
though that
face
would-
paint color is like some of the most iconic color
No,
paletting that we've seen from her.
So if that was added in after,
I don't know
Who
what's
knows, I
true, but
guess.
I have it from a pretty
a plausible, like a reliable
pretty
source.
well-read source on
Okay.
the subject that is true.
I'll believe it.
Yeah.
So before we even get to the video though, because I
Yeah.
don't remember when that came out, but it was
Neither do
later,
I.
obviously.
Neither do I.
But like when the leak, because again, well, I now am on my. I know I was
Are
just on
you-
my leak soapbox.
You're
but,
doing the leaky cauldron
But
right
at
now.
the time, I was like, well, I'm listening to this.
Oh, you listen.
So I listened to the leak, and I remember I texted Michael, and I was like, Michael, I have a problem.
Oh shit.
And Michael was like, "Is it applause? Did it scalp you?" And I was like,
He
"Yes."
always
and
knows
he got me. It was crazy because I had
anyone
typed out
else.
this whole like joke text to like be like, "Oh,
Stop.
what's wrong?" It's like, "No, it's applause." I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, you got me."
You had typed out a joke text
I
being
did, and
like,
he was like, it's applause, and I was like, okay, all right, great. Which
you
is
were gonna fake that it was like
something,
I
don't know,
death or something.
No, like literally, I was like, oh, like this thing happened to me. He's like, it's applause. I knew it happened to you. Where are your edges?
He's too smart. Like he killed
me.
the joke.
And especially, I mean, I don't know how I thought I was gonna get away with it when it comes to
How to Get Away with Murder. I don't think was airing yet. So how would you have known?
I didn't have the blueprint. That's exactly what it is. It's a very distinct, like, that moment I remember getting.
Oh, I just got lost. I just got lost in this stuff.
I remember getting, like, that moment. I was like, oh, I'm like on board for this era. Like,
so the problem was you were really on board.
I was just like, I'm here.
Oh, I see. Because you were like, shit, like, I've been in the Beehive, but I might need to jump ship and go over to Monster High.
I've been, like, talking shit about this woman. Not really. Like, obviously in jest. Obviously in jest.
I didn't realize you were having bowel movements.
No.
Damn, the sirens are out today. People are dying on Boxing Day. I mean, you know how it goes. It's the boxers.
Yeah.
And the bloody nose.
Yeah. Those can get really bad.
Yeah, of course. So you were concerned that you had pledged your allegiances to the wrong nation.
It's not even that. I just was like, I was just like, wow, I have said a lot this past year.
That you're gonna have to take back.
I'm gonna have to take back.
Shit, I didn't realize you were shitting in that way.
I wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was all like.
It was all in good fun,
oh, haha,
but still, fun.
Like, I remember one of the things I said was
taken
like,
too far.
It can. I don't think I ever did that. I think
that's why joking isn't cool. Like, say what you mean. Like, be serious.
Don't ever joke.
I actually don't believe in jokes. I'm like, just say the truth, and if it's funny, it's funny. But don't pull a joke.
Real. You know what? Those are the best jokes.
The best jokes are when you say like something true that ends up being funny unintentionally.
No, that's actually
that's
so
when
true.
The real laughs come.
No, you're so I'm like not even like you're
like I'm being
so serious.
No, it's like I'm sorry. Me too. Because I'm like I don't like stand-up comedy. What I like is like The Favorite, starring Olivia Colman, which had me laughing my ass off, and there was truth there. It wasn't like, where did the penguin cross the road? You know.
Okay, I mean, I'm there gagged. With you. I'm right there with you. I will say that if you're listening to any stand-up where they're saying, why did the penguin cross the road, I think that might be the issue. Like,
I actually think that Loki sounds like one of the better stand-up options.
Oh my god, yeah, no.
You know the tea?
I do know the tea. No,
There's
but you're right.
Tears pouring down your face. I'm just gonna give myself my flowers.
As
here.
You should. No,
I got you.
You got me good.
I got you.
You got me, girl. They got me, girls. What?
So, okay, you had sent a text eating crow.
I had sent a text eating crow, and then I was just like on board for the era. And what an era it was.
Oh, of course.
So we have...
What happens here? I mean, we'll go track by track, but do you have broader context clues to give?
Well, it was just like, it just felt like, I mean, for me, it was my first time like paying attention actively during
to what she was doing.
The Gaga era. Right?
Oh, okay, so this is huge.
Like, you know, like I was aware of like, Swinefest, and like I was aware.
Pause. What is Swinefest? I mean, I know the song Swine.
Okay, now I see.
Which is pig culture, and like I have a special connection to like the sexual world of being a pig in sex. I'm not trying to suggest that I'm walking around oinking in the bedroom, but I do have certain connotations I won't disclose where it's like, I understand what it's like to be piggy in the bedroir.
Yes, okay.
And I support Swine as a song.
I definitely support Swine as a song, although a lot. Many don't.
But those are like, some of the dumb vocally. People. Yeah, they're vocal, then they're loud. The anti-swine community is loud, and it's like, well, I'm a vegetarian.
And I'm like, you're right.
Except I do eat meat. I'm not a vegetarian. I think what I was trying to say was I'm no vegetarian. I love the movie Okja. And do you know that film?
I don't know if I do.
So that's a Bong Joon-ho film where it's about a supersized pig.
Oh, yes.
And by the end of it, you're basically a vegetarian. Okay. Because it's like, don't support this industry. Don't you ever eat a pig. Right. And so after that, I was a vegetarian for maybe 12 hours. And I don't want to eat meat. but I do love the song Swine. You're getting it.
I am getting it.
And I want to end the farmer industrial complex, and I want to eat leaves, but it's like...
It's very difficult.
It's just not really... Are you a vegetarian?
No. I literally, like, every 3 weeks, I'm like, what if I was a vegetarian?
I want to be. I want a different diet, because I have horrible digestion.
I do too.
No shade.
I do too. I am hopelessly lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
Famously so. And
that's your claim to fame.
That is my claim to fame. And
that's what put you on the cover of Rolling Stone.
And yet I am also simultaneously
needing cheese.
Addicted to cheese. I cannot not eat cheese.
The thing I've eaten today is a slice of cheddar.
Right.
That's the one thing I've eaten today. Yeah.
And
it felt
so
right.
So many days that's me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, don't do this.
Are you cheddar up top, or which cheese will you do?
Cheddar is definitely my good time girl. Like she's been there for me through thick and thin, and I will support her always.
Of course. But then there's Gouda, Munster, Gruyere.
There's the whole
Blue Goat.
There's the whole crew. Recently I've been doing a lot of provolone.
Oh, welcome.
Yes.
On a deli sandwich. That's where the correctness might occur.
Honey turkey and provolone.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's been my girl for the recent.
Can I direct us back to Swinefest though? What's that?
Yeah, let's do that. So, Swinefest was, I believe that's the name of it, and I hope I'm not.
Was this a sex party with a bunch of piggy gay guys?
Not yet.
I'll say that's where I was at.
Not yet.
Okay.
No,
wow.
It was. She went to the UK. She went to England.
One of my favorite places. Sexually,
definitely a place for sure. And and she did like
it is a place.
I don't know if she did I think she did the entirety of Artpop.
Album in order. See, artists should do that. Like, do the album in the order it comes on Spotify, and let's see how we cream it.
I think it was kind of in order, if I remember correctly. See, I will say that while I was aware of it at the time, my memories don't last like people do.
But why was it called Swinefest?
That's a great question.
Just because it was a performance that involved swine, and that was the name that came.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm not sure. So when I see, as you see, it's very easy for me to get caught in a lie. Although it wasn't a lie. You're a truth teller in my books. Truth teller. Like, I see you as one of the seers. Oh my god, not the seers.
Yeah. That's SEER for anyone.
Right, for anyone who's not literate. While this was the first time I was paying attention to a Gaga like rollout, I wasn't really like, it wasn't giving like on the blogs. And,
you weren't vlogging?
I wasn't. Well, I was just.
But
I
you're
wasn't
a
following.
tumbleely.
Well, but like very.
You tumbled through.
I kind of like was in the background on Tumblr as well. Like I wasn't like doing like.
Tumblr was about like really basic, not interesting pornographic imagery, as well as like Chanel coats. Like I just didn't have the curiosity to dig deep enough in high school to really like discover true, new, and interesting things. Like I wasn't, and still don't claim to be like very savvy with the internet, I think is the thing. Like I wasn't figuring out how to peel back the folds and find like the dark web where you would see like early leaks of Gaga before she became famous or whatever the fuck, you know? Yeah,
I mean, I think that I had curated my Tumblr well enough that like I got some of a lot of different things. Like I got like, I had things showing, like a lot of my information about that era did come from Tumblr because like I was following people who were like really into it.
That's cool.
And so like I think like by osmosis I was like getting all this information and getting all this
was getting like pictures of like Blair and Serena being like, get you a bestie like this, you know.
I don't
know about that,
but I was aware of that corner of Tumblr. I was like, and like I said, I wasn't like so removed from it, but I think I do a good job of like diversifying my social.
Well, you have Pulse Finger. Yeah. Like, you can put finger on Pulse, but then you can also make room for like the meme of Blair and Serena.
Exactly.
You know?
So anyway, so
Swinefest happens. What else happens in this rollout that you're aware of? Because I know about the art rave, which is when she's like at the thing in Brooklyn
with the
according
machine.
to Wikipedia, with the machine. She has like this like hovering dress, and then she has this thing where there's like Jeff Koons pieces, which he also did the album art, if I'm not mistaken, which is one of my favorite covers of hers, if not my favorite.
100%.
And then I remember there's like a little clip that I recently saw where like someone put a empty glass that had a cocktail in it on a Jeff Koons, and she's singing and walking through the crowd, and she like takes it off and she's like, who put this on here? And like, that's kind of heaven.
I think that was a very popular GIF or clip at the time.
That was one of those clips. And then I mean,
what else? I mean, there
so
was
Applause is
the
the debut single, which weirdly I looked up some charts. The album debuts at number 1 on the Billboard 200, but the Applause only made it to number 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought it was a number 1 hit.
I think that.
And it wasn't.
I believe that was.
What was the problem? Was this the Roar?
The Roar
debate? Except then wouldn't Applause have clocked in at number 2 at least?
Yeah, maybe so. I don't
but
know.
According to Wikipedia, which is one of our sacred texts here at Babbling On Institutes, it was a number 4.
She might as well be the Library of Alexandria, actually.
Yeah, which burnt down, of course.
And
wait, so it did burn down? I'm just like now kind of processing that phrase. I'm like, oh, so the Library of Alexandria burned down?
Oh yes,
that is bad news.
Like so much
was lost.
Knowledge
like
was
what
lost.
do we not know? Like the cure to cancer was in there.
Definitely.
Oh, I'm like freaking out.
No, like that's why people who like
that's why
are aware
we
of it
do
are like,
this.
oh, this is my Library of Alexandria.
See, I've been walking around being like, oh, Library of Alexandria, like let's say the funny phrase, and now I'm just like kind of for the first time actually processing the ramifications and realizing like
really crazy.
Oh wait, we lost that info.
And that's the thing is like you said, we don't even know what we lost.
No, that's what scares me.
That's the scary part.
And that's my big fear is it's like untapped potential. It's like it's kind of like the fear of like, oh, like what talents of my own am I squandering? What life am I not living that I could have been living? It's like we don't know until you do it.
Yes, exactly.
And in Alexandria's case, we don't know because it is ash.
It's ash,
which has now regurgitated through the circle of life, where we probably have particles of the Library of Alexandria in our systems right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think the way that I live with it is that I'm like, you know what, like it's been long enough that like there's definitely certain things that we've recovered enough of that, like we've relearned it.
We know things now. I mean, we do. Like
not all of it, but definitely most
we
of
know
it.
a lot of stuff. I'm trying to think what's important that we do know. I mean, like there's a radiator in this apartment. Like we're heating this apartment. Like, that's something.
There's pipes.
There's pipes. There's mirrors. Did they have mirrors back then? Like that's kind of one of the crazier inventions.
Now you're asking me questions that I don't know the answer to.
So Artpop wise, I do want to say, according to Wikipedia, and this feels incorrect, I don't believe this can possibly be true, but the singles would be Applause, Venus, Dope, GUI. I don't remember Dope coming out as a single.
I don't either, but
maybe as like a sort of like half single. You know how they sometimes are like, this is sort of a single. All of that is a mouthful because those are 4 songs I'm deeply needing to talk about. Should we go track by track now?
Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So I did take a few notes of just lyrics I want to point out, but this album opens with the lyric. It starts with Aura, which is one of my favorites on the album.
Okay, before we get into it, I was gonna say another thing that I remember living through is the Aura demo.
Oh, see, I don't know the Aura demo.
Yeah,
see, I've never been democratic like that.
I don't. I mean, I tend to err on the side of like, if an artist releases something, that's what they wanted us to hear.
Yeah.
And so like,
let's not listen to earlier, unless you think the industry pushed for the polished version, and maybe the artist did want the demo.
Sometimes there are, and it's I mean, I'll listen to a demo. It's not like a leak where I'm like, I try.
So you're more comfortable with Democracy than with Leaky Cauldron?
I'd definitely say that. I am more of a democratic person than a leak.
Yeah, then a leak stew.
A leak stew. A leak stew. And I remember.
So you heard the Aura demo, and is it different? How is it different?
It's like different enough. I'm trying to remember.
Can I just say one thing? Go ahead.
I think the big thing about the Aura demo was that it was called Burqa. Oh. Right. I was like, why was there like
because Burqa is gonna have to be one of the main factors we discuss on this song. But just before we do Burqatic equations, I want to say. Here's how Artpop begins, which by the transitive property is how Aura begins, which is I killed my former and, which I used to think it was I killed my boyfriend, but it's former and.
Wait, it's former and?
I killed my former and, as in like her former self.
I thought
is
it was
that right?
Former friend.
Oh, I don't know what it is. Let me actually look it up. I assumed that was right. But I used to think it was
but
boyfriend.
I love former and.
Left her in a trunk on Highway 10.
Wait, I live.
Put the knife under the hood. If you find it, send it straight to Hollywood. And then we get some of the greatest production of all time, which is... It's so good. I love Laura. Or I just said Laura.
I love Laura too. Laura's great.
It's not my favorite name. It's former and.
Wait, that's gagging me.
I just gagged a bit because it's. She's talking about her former self.
Wait, that's.
It changes everything.
I mean, I think that
she's like, I don't want to be the Born This Way soapbox starlet anymore. I want to be the slut who's doing meth in Chicago.
Allegedly.
Is meth an allegation? I just kind of pulled that out of my ass.
I don't know if it's an allegation per se, but I think it's at the very least defamatory.
It's on the table as something that could have happened. Well, I mean, meth is more prevalent than you'd think.
Oh, I'm
you know about.
I'm aware. Well, I don't know.
I mean, no, there is no. Let me be clear. Like, no one I know, including myself, including everyone involved in this life, is doing meth. I hear whispers about the.
Oh,
I can't breathe.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So
Aura is one of my favorite songs ever. I kind of think it should have been the lead, although I would actually maybe say Venus. But do you want to see me naked, lover? Do you want to peek underneath the covers? Do you want to see the girl who lives behind the aura? Behind the aura. Do you want to touch me? Kiss me, love? And then we get this kind of controversial line, which leads to the original title of the song, which is, do you want to see the girl who lives behind the burqa?
Behind the burqa.
So where do you land there? I'm a little like, it's fine. Like, burqas exist.
It's kind of in the same vein of like...
I actually think it's great, low-key. It's like, there are sexual women wearing burqas who want to unleash that. Maybe I'm like, I might have just really canceled my whatever.
No, I mean, I think that what it is I feel like it falls into the same vein that I was talking about earlier with Born This Way, where it's like kind of white feminism, because it's like, I don't think anything she said on Born This Way, and I don't think that line per se is like incorrect, especially as you've explained. Like there are
Babbling, right?
But I'm like,
holy shit.
Is Stephanie Joanne Angelina Germanotta the person who needs to be bringing that message to me?
I can think of others who might have been better suited,
who also might have been doing it as well. So I mean, like I said,
sure, okay, right, and it's kind of like overlooking. Maybe there's other people who sang that lyric that we don't know about because they don't have the star,
right?
Or the media focus, the
and
publicity
then it also
machine
doesn't hit the same coming from her that it would coming from them,
right? No, exactly. It's not as right. Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So I'm like I said, I don't have a problem with the lyric as like I don't think that she meant
the lyric isn't inherently a problem, but
and I don't think she meant anything problematic by it.
Right.
But I'm just like, well, I can't fight to defend you when I'm like, you really shouldn't have said it in the first place. You know what I mean?
It's right.
Da 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 da. Yeah, I was gonna say one more thing about Aura is that it's funny that you mentioned, because I do think that it was supposed to be, because I mean the reason that we have the demo is because I think it well, I don't know actually.
Was it? Continue that train of thought.
I was gonna say that I think it was supposed to be a single, and it might be the case that it was supposed to be the first single, but I think I might be making that up. I just know that we had the demo, and I think that was part of that was because it was supposed to be a single.
And do you think they changed their mind because it leaked?
Because it leaked, and because of like what the backlash was about the
burqa line.
The burqa line.
And that being the title.
Yeah.
Which does like, I think it's a better title to do Aura.
I think so too. And especially because like even with the demo, I don't think she said burqa more than the one time.
Right. It's like, so that's not really what the song is.
Yes.
Although I guess kind of it is. But.
It kind of is in a way. And it also I think that kind of like strengthens or makes me feel stronger about my point of that, like, why would you name the song Burqa when you didn't need to? Obviously.
Right, like, you know what it is I think that then just becomes like sensationalist of like, ooh, like this is controversial, so I'll just do it for controversy's sake, when it's like the song stands on its own as one of my favorite songs melodically and lyrically and like performance wise. Like, I mean, do you want to see me naked, lover? Do you want to peek underneath the covers? Like, I totally relate to that message.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get naked for you. And a burqa removal is one way to do that. But I really think the song is more just about, like, a yearning to be sexualized. And it doesn't have to have this controversial... What am I even trying to say?
Or, like, not even, like... I mean, yes, a yearning to be sexualized, but, like, also, like, just, like, a yearning to be... vulnerable and exposed, right? Like, it doesn't even not to say that like it can't be about sex, but like it can. I feel like it can
right. It could just be like intimacy or like just like openness,
right?
And then it sounds so fucking cool.
It's
too.
A really good
it's
song.
like is that a sitar? That's
I don't know. I don't know what that. I'm not good on. I don't know too much about like
instruments,
like the heart, like the
okay, but also her laughter, where it's like ha ha ha. It's like so creepy and weird and cool,
it's
and
very,
like
it's carnival.
Points to what's coming next, which is Venus, which was a single, which is one of her greatest songs of all time, which leans into two spheres, one being Greek Roman mythology and one being like alien culture. And I think that laughter you hear in Aura is sort of symptomatic of the alien leader nature. So let's go Vino.
Let's go Vino.
Yeah.
What I'll say about Vino is that and you can ask many people about this.
Yeah.
Venus is my favorite song on the album.
Oh, wow. Does that make it your favorite Gaga song of all time?
And I think it does. That's what I was going to say. There it is.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I mean, I've gone back and forth over the years. Like, when Applause came out, obviously it was my favorite song.
So you clapped your hands.
I was clapping. I was clapping down.
Oh, you were clapping.
I was clapping down.
I love Applause, but for me, it's just like it sort of lacked the toothiness. Like, it doesn't quite have the edge I'm finding in Venus and Aura and GUI and Dope and Gypsy. Like, I'm spoiling things, but like,
no, but yeah.
Applause isn't my favorite just because it's palatable in a way that I wanted it to be a little bit more of an acquired taste.
But I think that I do think that it serves its purpose of being like, and this is why actually I did like it as a lead single.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it serves its purpose of being like, hey girls, I actually, like you were saying before, like I make art. I make pop that is art, and I make art that is pop. Like what you don't understand.
Oh wow!
Like what you may not understand about what I make is that there's thought that goes into the creation of it.
Wow.
And
because that is a true thing where I think she was unfairly maligned and continues to be as like someone who's like just churning out thoughtless pop, and it's like no, she thinks very intentionally about everything she does.
Once has it been thoughtless.
It's never been thoughtless. Sometimes I don't love it, but it's never been lacking in thought. She's a thinker.
And that's, I do think that like Applause is why, because I think that I heard that and I was like, oh, maybe I haven't been giving her due because I wasn't giving her the credit that she deserved by like delving into what she's produced deep enough.
And also into her own lore. I mean, like Applause is very honest. It's like she lives for the applause. Yeah. Like she cares about the adoration of her fans, and it would be a lie not to.
Hello, the fame, like
the
what?
fame. I mean, like she's always been very, very concerned with the concept of fame and the dark and good sides of it.
Yes, the fame monster. Hello.
Well, welcome to Moon and Sun. Welcome to binary.
Welcome to binary. I mean,
like
no matter gay, straight, or bi.
No matter gay, straight, or bi. Which is the Trinity, of course.
Which is the Trinity. I know, so I do think that, like, I 100% get where you're saying, because I do think Applause is a little bit too... Not too. It's very, like... It's
surface. But there's depth if you dig.
Yes. It's surface
it's
in a way
easy to read
that,
as
like,
surface.
It's easy to read. It's easy to read. And it, like, is also, like, I think, almost directly addressing, like, the detractors who are, like, this you know, what
Right.
is she
It's
doing?
like, oh,
This is
she's just
not-
like a pop star who's
yeah.
like popping
Right.
bubblegum. Yeah. Okay, so regarding Venus though.
Venus.
There's a lot of really interesting sonic things going on. Like I said, there's kind of two worlds being referenced. One is like Aphrodite, lady, seashell, bikini, get with me, Venus. And it's like Aphrodite. Venus is a Greek god, I'm pretty
Aphrodite
sure,
is
of
Greek.
sex. Aphrodite.
Venus is,
Or is Venus
the
Roman?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it's like she's referencing that world, which
All the planets are the Roman ones.
okay, yeah. Oh, so the planets are the Roman and the Greek is like Aphrodite, Hera, Athena.
Yeah.
Juno is Hera in Roman. I took Latin in high school, so
period.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So did you go to Latin convention?
I don't think I did I go to
We would go to this college campus for one weekend a year and dress in togas and do Latin competitions, and then like the hot older boys would like fuck girls. And
I'm screaming.
I always think about that, and I never fucked, obviously, because I was not fucking till college because I was a lame ass.
I don't think I went to convention. Oh, I think we wanted to. Oh, we wanted to, but
Stop.
I did Kurtamen.
Kurtamen! I was about to bring up. Kurtamen is the thing where you have the buzzer and you answer questions. Oh, you know Kurtamen? I knew I gagged for you.
Wait, you're actually gonna get it because I was this close to wearing a varsity. I have a shirt that says Varsity Kurtamen.
You were gonna wear that today, and instead you are wearing a shirt that says Shade asterisk. There's a huge subtext, but like that's heaven.
Yeah, it was like I pulled out that shirt and then I saw the Kurtamen shirt underneath, and I was like, I'm just gonna.
Oh my god, that's crazy! I almost said I wish I had said Kurtamen first, so I could like fully verify for you that like I'm a curtain weaver, but I was playing Kurtamen. I was pressing the buzzer. I was pressing the button, and we were doing it on a college campus against other Milwaukee local schools.
Oh my god!
And like people were fucking the hot boys. Oh my god! I wish I had done things differently, but.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but like,
that's a conversation
forget regret or life is yours to miss, obviously from Rent, but it's kind of like, well, I have regrets, and like, it would be a lie to say I don't.
Right.
So.
And actually, life is mine to miss. That means that I should be able to miss if I want to. Like that, let me regret.
Right, life is yours to miss is like giving you permission, like, maybe I'll miss.
Maybe I will regret.
Maybe I'll miss life, and maybe I'll regret. Other world that Venus references is alien abduction, where it's like, take me to your planet, take me to your planet, take me to your leader. And I love the combination of those two worlds. And then there's like this really interesting kind of like marching that
like section where it's like
and it's like a marching band, like an alien roll call. And then the lyric that goes what's the siren passing? 'Cause you're out of this world, galaxy, space, and time. I was re-listening this morning.
Same.
And I was thinking, like, all my life I've thought, like, 'cause you're out of this world. And then I've thought the next lyric being, like, galaxy, space, and time has just been kind of a cool lyric, not realizing that it's actually, like, 'cause you're out of this world, galaxy, space, and time. Like, do you know what I'm doing? Yes. Like, I put that together today.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I feel that. I think that I
Were you aware of that?
I think I was.
Yeah.
That's how I parsed it.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I mean, it's the same type of thing of like,
yeah.
Well,
yep.
No, yes.
Allow things to come to a halt here while things just kind of overwhelm you.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that the next song is GUI, and together these three. Oh wait, am I correct that these three make up art film? Because there's like a 3-song music video. Maybe Aura's not in it.
No,
actually.
I don't think Aura. It's Venus, GUI, and
Wait, what is it? Is it art? Oh, it's Artpop title track. I think.
Is it?
I think it's Artpop title track into Venus into GUI.
I think
I kind of forgot.
I know that Venus is in it.
I know that GUI is in it.
And I know GUI is in it because it's actually because technically it's the GUI music video.
Oh yeah, it's actually not Aura.
It's not Aura.
I think it's Artpop title track, and then Manicure plays in the credits.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Which is a shame because Aura is so good. I think it deserved a music video, and I agree. But I love the art film. I think it's one of her best. The choreo there is unreal. The GUI choreo when they're in that like mansion and then that room. And she's with that hot guy and they're like fucking in the choreo. But I do want to say this run, and you might be adding in more, but I think 1, 2, 3 Aura, Venus, GUI is maybe the strongest opening 3 of an album. I'm trying to think.
Of an album just in general?
Of a Gaga album.
Oh, a Gaga
but
album.
For me, that basically means an album. Although, no, I'm going to have to say the strongest opening 3, and we're covering this album on a soon-to-come episode of any album, would probably be Norman into Mariners into Venice. Do you understand that language?
Wait,
That's Lana.
Is that the first 3 on Norman?
Girl,
Wait,
it goes
really?
Norman, Mariners, Venice. Like, if you didn't have chills
she
yet,
kind of
like,
actually...
why did she come to? Like,
okay, I'll be honest with you.
I'm scared.
At the risk of being thrown out of your apartment, like I'm not anti Lana.
Okay. Well, then you won't get thrown.
Okay, but
You're safe, actually. Like, just know you're safe. Like, I'm actually not in the mood to, like, attack. And sometimes I would be.
I'm not in the mood, just so you know. It's not that you're safe because
the King Cobra is not in the room with us
today.
right now. The Scorpion isn't here. You actually are blessed with the hummingbird today.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Yeah.
Love the hummingbird. So, Lana, like, I feel like I always am like, I need to, like, really get to a place.
You totally could be there. I just see it in you.
Have to mend our differences.
Well, you and Stephanie took to Artpop.
It took us a while.
And you know the next Lana album is called The Right Person Will Stay.
Ooh.
So I actually could see you gag over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not anti Lana. I like was
but
me and Born to Die were like this.
Oh. Well, then you have your homework and your food.
I was there from the beginning. Like,
then
Tumblr actually brought me to
Tumblr. But I mean, she is tumbling. She's a tumbleweed.
She was tumbling.
Did Ultraviolence turn you off? Because it at first, speaking of contrarian syndrome, like when Ultraviolence debuted, I was like, this is not interesting. And then the more I listen, it's actually maybe my favorite, tied with Norman. Although Norman has to be number 1, but like, yeah.
I think that
Ultraviolence is a masterpiece.
I wasn't anti Ultraviolence, but I think that it did make me feel like I don't need to be plugged. Like, I don't need to be tapped in.
Yeah, I understand.
As much as I was.
I really do understand.
Like, I feel like it came out and I was like, this is nice. I feel like me and Lana have gone our separate ways.
Most Lana albums, besides Norman and Born to Die, I think and Chemtrails, and yeah, I start off being like, oh, this is like not quite what I needed, but then the more I listen, I become like, oh, this is the best album I've ever heard. Yeah, but music sometimes takes time for me in that way.
No, I mean, same. Maybe I just need to give her some more spins.
Give her more time. Anyway,
how do we get here?
How did we end up there?
The
Aura Venus GUI.
Yeah, that's a very strong.
Do you extend it into Sex Dreams? I mean, I love Sex Dreams, but I
love
think
Sex Dreams.
Sex Dreams is maybe not quite on the same level for me as Aura Venus and GUI.
I would say that it is for me. I think that those 4 are really. I think that Jewels and Drugs is where it starts to get a little bit.
Jewels and Drugs, yeah. Sex Dreams is actually way better than I remembered it. Listening this morning, I was like, oh, like. It's a very weird song, which I love. Like, there's a little part that goes, making love in my sex dreams, which is just really well composed. And then the chorus goes, last night you were in my sex dreams. And then the verses are incredibly bizarre, where it's like, the second verse is like, I just want this to be perfect. Convicted criminal. And then she goes, 'cause I'm broken. Like that. Help me help.
Like, it's actually, I actually do love that composition of her, like, doing spoken word.
No, it is spoken word. And then, it's really interesting and, like, different from anything she's ever done.
Yeah.
And also, like, I'm a huge messagist. Like, for me, it's like, what is this song about? And I have sex dreams often. And they're heaven. They're hell when you wake up, because you're like, oh, that didn't actually happen. But, like, lately I've been having a lot of sex dreams.
Okay.
And so I'm like, yeah, like, let's get it out there.
Yeah. Let's talk about sex dreams.
Let's talk about sex dreams. Do you ever have them?
I do. The worst thing is, like you said, waking up and then you're like, girl. I like me trying desperately to be like, snooze.
Right,
like,
go
where
back,
was
go back,
I?
Go back. And most of the time you can't do that. Although once in a while you can.
I don't think I've ever been successful. It's never been it's never been a perfect return.
Okay.
I think maybe
sometimes you can sort of like do a bumpy little like part 2.
But no, it's never like, we're never back into the moment.
Yeah.
But like, I think that this song, I don't know, I really feel like, I mean, like you said, the composition is crazy. The and I think it also like it really well.
Yeah.
So I think that we haven't talked about like the overall theme of the album.
Okay, yeah, please do.
Which I don't know, maybe we kind of have talked about it, but like basically like art being pop
The
and pop being
intersection of
art.
art and pop.
Yeah.
And what's different and what's the same about
Right.
that, yeah.
And I think that the way that this fits into the album, like in general, is just like her. I mean, part of it we've already talked about, like the idea of her wanting to be, her wanting to be like vulnerable and wanting to be open and wanting to like expose parts of herself.
Yeah, and maybe not having had the permission by the culture to do that at this point.
Mm-hmm. And I think that this is a really effective and interesting and fun way to like you know another a fun way to like also
What you're
display
saying,
that.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
I just think she's kind of at her best when she's getting experimental, and I feel like when she gets really experimental, it ends up becoming really commercial. I mean, like, Just Dance somehow for me, I think sounded like nothing else I'd ever heard before at the time, and was like kind of weird. Maybe I'm completely off base, but
No,
I just
I
think,
agree,
like,
because I think that that's what gagged
that's
me
what
in that
gagged me.
10th
It's
grade
like,
rec center.
red wine. It was
I was like, whoa.
what? And then Bad Romance, for example, like the gibberish factor. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, and like
The
Bad
gibberish.
Romance is her biggest song of all time, even though it only reached number 2, weirdly.
Which is crazy. I just found that out. I was like, what do you mean by that?
I'm pretty sure it's because, and the only reason that I don't like I do have trouble sleeping at night, but not because of this, is I think the thing that dethroned it was TikTok by Kesha, which to me is one of the all-time Babble. It's a very good song, and I think underrated, including by me, who was going in like, oh, Sex Dreams isn't as good. But then I heard it and was like, wait, this is actually really good. Why don't we like celebrate Sex Dreams more?
Yeah. I think that, I mean, well, I think that what we had left off saying is that like, you don't consider it part of the first, like the strong opening. I do.
You do.
And then for me, Jewels and Drugs is where it starts.
Jewels and Drugs is weird. Although, listening again, I was kind of gagged by this. I mean, in an overarching respect to the overall album. Like, I kind of realized this album goes from, like, really cool, arty, experimental pop into, like, sleazy pop in the middle, into, like, ballady shit in the end. And it has a progression, and it's a really strong, cohesive, full package product. And Jewels and Drugs is better than I remembered, while still being kind of bad. And like the rap in it is kind of weird and good, but like it ends with like Gaga, 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 Gaga. Don't want your jewels, I want your drug. And I kind of like again, I'm a misogynist, and I kind of like, yeah, I don't want your jewels, I want your drugs.
I think that I was so anti it for the longest specifically because of like how it's not that I didn't think that the raps fit in, or that they were like,
did you feel they were kind of forced or something?
It's not that I felt that they were forced. I just like felt like they like mess with the flow of the album.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I
this
feel
song does it's kind of a clunker in
Yeah.
this otherwise sort of really interesting flow to it. Although I actually have problems with the next song too, which I don't know how that will reach your ears, but I think Manicure is probably my least favorite on the album.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I have a lot of friends who are Artpopian, and they wrinkle their nose at me for that because they love Manicure.
Yeah,
but I actually don't like Manicure.
Manicure is loved. I don't think I think that when I first, well, we can look before we get to Manicure.
Yeah. Let's linger on Jewels and Drugs.
Two things I want to point out, or just what I want to say. When I can't think of Jewels and Drugs without thinking of the line.
There's one line that really sticks out for me. I wonder if it will be what you say.
Okay, for me, it's the line, "This family."
Yes. This family is stupid attractive.
If you surveyed the way we've acted, which I think is a crazy.
Oh, so is that an incest thing?
I don't. Oh.
That's how I'm reading it. I mean, because before that she goes, I'm your mother, sister, brother, father, something.
Yeah, it's like your mother, sister, father, brother. This family is stupid attractive.
The line, this family's stupid attractive. That is the line.
I love that line.
Yeah,
I love that line.
I love that line.
Originally, and then it was because, like, through loving that line, then I heard the following line, which is, if you surveyed the way we've acted. Which, first of all, one thing about me, I don't know if I said it earlier when we were talking about this. I majored in classics in undergrad.
Oh, like Greek and Latin classics. Okay.
But I minored in linguistics.
Oh,
so
you're one of those cunted sorts.
When I talk about
law,
when I talk about grammar, when I talk about linguistics, I'm talking about some real shit.
God, you know your fucking shit.
And so for me, when I hear a conditional, I'm like, whoa. This family is stupid attractive if you've surveyed the way we've acted.
No,
I'm like,
the conditions that unfold. Like what happened? To me, that is reading as either the family is all supermodels who have like really displayed themselves, and that's the behavior that's being referenced, or it's a family that fucks each other, and that is hot, depending on.
But it's like this
your perspective.
But it's like, right, it's also, it's like, but like the depending is the part that gets me. It's like, if you surveyed the way we've acted, it's like,
what did they do?
What did they do?
What did they do that made them attractive?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I love that line. It's
interesting and thought provoking.
Yeah,
and it's way more interesting than most of the rest of the song.
I would agree. Although,
because the whole concept of like, I don't care about money, I want your love, is heaven, obviously, but it's also like been done before. I mean, Kesha did it on several songs. I'm forgetting what song.
Almost all of them. Your Love Is My Drug.
Yeah. Or Sleazy. Don't get sleazy. I don't care about you. I'm kind of blanking on the words, but I know sleazy is about that.
I mean, I'm not like Cassandra.
You're not Cassandra-less.
I'm not like Cassandra-less, but like
You're not?
Well,
shocks me.
I'm not anti.
I'm not anti, and I'm not really actively pro these days. But during the Animal Cannibal era, I was pretty active.
I don't think I was active. I think that I was aware of her because I think I was still in my contrarian phase, and I heard TikTok, and I was like, love TikTok down.
TikTok,
despite myself, but like I was like, I don't know that I can get into.
You'd be surprised how We Are Who We Are, Sleazy, Cannibal.
I love who we are.
Below. I mean, like, there's We Are Who We Are is probably... and Die Young.
Die Young was... Oh my god,
Let's make the most of the night. I wonder who can do the Kesha episode. It's actually really important.
Yeah, you better find somebody.
We're gonna... If you're out there and you're hearing this opportunity, speak now.
What was the other song? Is it Crazy Kids?
We are the crazy kids.
No, to be clear, like I'm not anti-Kesha.
It's clear you know your stuff.
Right. I just wasn't, because there's certain people who are like, there's people who are like, oh, you know this Kesha song, the like third song from her. I'm like,
that's actually low-key me a little bit.
Okay.
I fell off. Like I don't know Rainbow or whatever the fuck. But, anyway, so Jules and Drugs.
Oh, so the second thing I wanted to point out was at Swinefest, the one that she did in the UK, she performed this song, obviously.
Did people throw eggs at her?
No, not that I'm aware of. Because I famously wasn't there. I had to watch it on Apple TV.
Oh, shout out to
Apple
TV existed at this point.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Well, no, I know so because that's where I watched it.
Yeah, you know. Like, don't
No. See, I'm so easy to... Anytime someone pushes back on anything else, I'm like, well, I'm not sure.
Oh no! So, by the way, I changed my opinion by the minute. Like, I will change my opinion on the dime to fit the mood.
Fit the mood.
I'm not a loyalist when it comes to like these are my opinions. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, and I actually think the opposite.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Whatever. I'm wishy-washy.
So she performed the song, and obviously, who was it? T.I., Too Short, and Twista are on it.
Yeah.
Too Short and Twista were there, came out and like performed their parts.
Wait, I'm just noticing something. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm realizing Do What You Want isn't on the track list anymore.
It's not, and we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
But so Jules and Drugs, Too Short and Twista were there, did their parts. And then when it came time for T.I. to do his part, she said, from all the way across the pond, they wouldn't let him into the country, poor thing, because they wouldn't let T.I. like into England for whatever reason. I don't know what it is.
What?
But like
we don't know the background.
I'm sure that we could
T.I.
find it out,
couldn't come to
but
England for Swinefest.
He was not able.
Oh, but
to,
so
he, like,
Too Short and Twista were there.
there, yeah.
Okay.
But
so he did his stuff like virtually.
I forget if it was virtually or if it was like pre-recorded or like whatever it was. But it's just so fun. Like every time I listen to it before
from
his part, I'm always like, from all the way.
They wouldn't let him into the country.
And the poor thing is really
poor thing. Poor thing.
Takes me out every single time. Like, poor thing.
Okay, so that's Jewels and Drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Let me bring us to Manicure, which is in the credits of the art film, which I have some dear Artpopians who swear by Manicure. For me, it's just like sonically it doesn't hit. Michael Cuby's a manicurist.
A manicurist stan, yeah.
Yeah, Marty and Haley, who are both former guests of the pod, are also huge at the manicure salon.
Okay.
I don't need a mani-pedi right now. Like, I find it to be like, like, to me, it's like, ow, my ears. Like, this is just not correct for what I hear.
I think that I felt that. And I was right there with you. I think recently I've softened to it. I think, especially once
it's been a recent softening.
It's actually like very,
okay, that's
not very
interesting
recent,
to hear.
but like in the as recently as like the last like couple years.
Okay, that is recent considering the context. Yeah,
13?
2013, I think.
So right, yeah, very recent.
Which is. Don't make me say it.
We're not gonna say
years
it.
Ago.
Okay,
don't make me say it.
Yeah, you said it. So
it was said. A baker's dozen. Well, actually, not a baker's.
No.
Thank God.
Okay. Let's keep it. Let's keep it where it is.
Slow down. I just got a little dizzy.
Yeah. No. I don't. I mean, I do think it does. It's like it starts so abruptly. It starts so like swackily.
It is an abrupt start.
But then it does.
It settles into itself.
She settles into itself, and she's doing some really interesting things with her, like the run she's doing, the places she's going, like vocally.
I need to do more depth. So like she's with her throat. Mm-hmm. She's sort of exploring new notes.
I don't know if it's new notes because I don't know if you can't. I don't know if new notes.
Well, she is someone who likes to try out different vocal stylings and voices, and then harmonizes those together. And that's where that's where I think Disease's strength lies. To fast forward to modern day, like I think Disease has some really interesting vocal stylings.
Yes, yeah.
Where she's like trying out like different voices.
But then also, I think that, and again, we're jumping ahead. But I do what I like about Disease is that it's while it is like new vocal stylings, it's also like harkening back.
It's definitely nodding to her roots. I think Disease is cool, and I actually like just got chills thinking about how I want to listen to Disease later today. Like it actually is good. I mean, I'm not gonna give it the level of like the highs of art pop, but I am gonna say like there's a certain Artpopian tendency within Disease that I think places it solidly in like the upper middle ground of art pop songs. I would put Disease on a similar level to like Swine.
Oh wow, interesting.
I mean, I'd maybe put those around the same place.
Yeah, I mean, before you said that, I don't think I would disagree. I don't know. I don't think I had been. I think that I had been comparing it to. I think I had been placing it in like an area of her like previous work, but I hadn't been like putting it.
I'd never done. By the way, I've never specifically did this before, but I just realized like if I was going to compare it to any previous Gaga song, I don't know. Maybe sort of the Swine Sphere feels maybe like art pop title track. I don't know.
I see what you're talking about, and I'm very intrigued by it, and I feel like I have to do
something
a little bit more
to explore. We're not really ready yet.
Yeah.
Do you need to say more Manicure, or are you ready for art pop title track?
No, I mean
when does Do What You Want come in?
So I think if I remember correctly, it was right before art pop.
Okay, so then let's give Do What You Want its chance in the sun now.
So famously,
it featured R. Kelly.
And the video was supposed to be shot by Terry Richardson.
And they filmed it, right?
They filmed it, yeah.
And she had like newsprint on her, and she was like on a medical bed or operating table, and he was like
doing something.
And he's obviously now like in jail for rape.
Right.
And she re-released... See, I just thought that the re-release with Christina Aguilera replacing R. Kelly, which is way superior to the original.
First of all, right.
I thought
Which,
that
side
would be
note,
on
wait,
this
before
album.
we talk about that...
Okay, yeah.
Or, well, sorry, not before we talk about... But, like, just to go off of that...
Yeah.
There are so many people who, like, are like, oh, the re-release doesn't hit the same.
That's
or, like,
weird
isn't
to
as
me.
good.
The
And I'm
Christina
like,
one is way better.
I'm like, I think it's way better.
Yeah.
I think, first of all...
The R. Kelly one isn't really
I
tea.
don't like it. I never liked it.
I actually can't remember how he sounds on it. It's no longer available to listen.
Yeah, I mean, so she put out that song. I knew, at least I thought I knew. I don't presume to know what was going on in her head at all times.
Yeah.
She's her own person.
She's her.
But
She is her.
I feel like I knew what the point that she was trying to make was, which is that, you know, I have agency. I have ownership over my personhood in a way that, like, regardless of, like, whoever or whatever is happening, like, I still am the person who's in control of, like, XYZ things.
So the lyric is, you can say what you want about me, and sorry, like, do what you want with my mind, or you can't have my mind, but you can have my mind, so do what you want with my body. So I just kind of, like, spoke gibberish, but basically she's saying, like, you can't have my mind, but do what you want with my body. Right. And I kind of, keep going, because I actually, like, don't quite understand what she's saying.
I mean, again, like I said, I don't know, but, like, I feel like what I was getting from it is that she's asserting her own, she's asserting ownership over her
image,
and her like persona.
I think that's what I interpret it as, like, Photoshop me or, like, critique me in the press, like, not necessarily, like, rape me.
No.
That's not what she's saying, even though, like, you can kind of read that.
Yes.
Which is not what she's saying.
And I think that it was, I mean, I feel, what it was is this. Well, how I felt about it was this. I think it was a misstep because I think that she was, I don't think that she thought that...
well, first of all, they never released the music video. She had the foresight to realize, like, this wasn't really a correct step.
Right. I think that, I don't know. For me, it came off as, like, she knew that R. Kelly had a lot of bad press. And she was like,
this isn't
don't we all have bad press in this industry?
Yeah.
But then it was like, well, no, girl.
Like, this is a bit
some of us
different.
have bad press, and some of us are, like, out here committing
crimes. Oh, so you think at first she was like, oh, like, they will rip you apart for being famous, but then it was like, oh wait, no, R. Kelly is actually on a different level, where it's like, oh no, you actually raped children and had a system going to do so.
And I think that's I do believe, and I obviously I don't know, but, like, I do believe that that's how she felt, like, that's how she thought, like, actually, like, I don't think that, like, I feel like people are just saying things about you, and then she found out, and she was like, oh,
I like to think that she, like, well, I don't fucking know, but, like, at the very least, like, she ultimately did not release this video.
She didn't release the video. She took it off, obviously, of streaming.
Yeah. And I think she kind of handled it the best she could, and then the Christina re-release is really smart. I don't know why it's not listed in the official Artpop track listing on Spotify.
I'm sure that's because of, like,
legal like copyright issues. But the Christina version is really good.
I agree.
Yeah. I think that's all we need to say on Do What You Want. Artpop title track is actually one of my favorites on the album.
Interesting.
I like it a lot.
Okay.
Free My Mind, Artpop, You Make My Heart Stop.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I have to say about this? The color palette you choose can profit you. My Artpop handles any strings. Yeah, I just like this song. It sticks in my head.
I mean, I believe that I don't hate it.
You don't like it.
I don't
and that's
like
okay.
it.
Because I'm not super defensive on this one.
It used to be my least favorite song.
Really?
Well, actually, I guess technically it still is.
Yeah. Go ahead, because like, I'm not loyal to it.
You have to have at least. You have to have.
You have to pick one. That's why I picked Manicure.
I think that Artpop is my least favorite, but I do think that like I used to hate it a lot more, and now I've come around to it, especially because of like, I mean, it is kind of like the like, it's like the root of like the idea of the album, right? Like my
it
Artpop
is
could mean
ideation
anything.
birth. Yeah.
Right. So no, I can't say bad things about it, but I don't know if I have.
There's really not much more to say on it. So Swine, we've talked about a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Swine.
The vocals are really
for me or for her.
For you.
Oh,
like,
thank you. I actually feel like I'm not joking, and many who listen will know I'm not joking. Like I actually think I have raw talent as a vocalist, and with training and proper procedures and hard work, none of those three things are headed my way. I could be a singer. Regarding Swine, squeala, 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 you're so disgusting. You're just a pig inside. I love leaning into the sexual side of disgust. I think that's just fun. And like pig, as I've mentioned, is a particularly sexualized word and a romantic word, actually, in my books.
Agree.
I just like the idea of someone being so fearily horny that it's gross and also hot.
Yes.
I'm glad this song exists.
And then also like, but like naming it, being like, I know you want me. Like
exactly.
Like it's not just like, oh, you want me. It's like, no, I'm telling you,
right.
I'm
it's
aware
kind of like,
of it.
You want me. I don't even know if I want you. You're disgusting at how horny you are. But like
I'm letting you know that I know.
Yeah.
Like we are both on the same page as far as
she's a dominatrix here. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's Swine. I'm just gonna crank us along a little bit because I will. But Donatella, one of the best.
Love down.
Donatella is. It should have been a single. It's so good.
I'm afraid. I feel like, again, not a marketing person, not involved. I have no clue.
Yeah.
But I feel like she probably was like, I can't make this a single without like running it by Donatella first.
Sure.
And I feel like she probably just didn't have.
Mrs. Versace's opinions are. This is a song that goes, Donatella, I'm rich bitch, I'm the upper class, me Bella. I wanna go and drink champagne. Rock down the runway, but don't puke. You know, like it's about fashion.
Yeah.
Similar to its following track.
Right.
But this is just a song about being, I'm a rich bitch, I'm the upper class.
Yeah.
I am so fab.
Right.
I'm skinny, I'm rich, I'm blonde.
It's an iconic song. I do think that, I mean, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know that I think it should have been a single.
On the gigometer, where are you? Like, how hard do you get on this?
No, I love the song, but I feel like as far as singles goes,
what would be your singles here? Like, if you were picking three singles
from this album,
yeah.
Venus.
Yep.
Honestly, Applause, and
I'm about to like spoil some of my tea when I say this.
I don't know. I mean,
you would do Venus, Applause, and.
I guess either GUI or Sex Dreams. Which is what it was, right?
Yeah.
And then Dope, you said it was?
I think Dope, but I don't know. That doesn't sound right. I think Wikipedia might be wrong there. I think it might have been like some like Apple like feature without being an official single. Would release as singles Venus, Donatella, and Gypsy, low-key. I'm a psycho.
I did. The Gypsy did pass.
Okay, we're gonna
get into
Gypsy, which is actually sort of the crux of my whole argument here. Yeah, spoiler alert. But so Donatella's Heaven, it's a really good song. Yeah. It's great for working out. Like it's high voltage, high energy, and it has great references. Next song is Fashion.
Love it down.
Another fashion song.
One thing about me, I love a Will.i.am production.
Oh, this is a Will.i.am prod?
Oh, down.
Oh.
Wait, am I making that up? No,
it doesn't say on here, but I'm trusting you.
You can even, I feel like you can even hear him on the track.
Oh, really?
Like parts of it where he's like...
It's also DJ White Shadow. Who else is producing this album? Do you know? I don't know. I actually don't. I never knew that shit.
I'm bad at that stuff. Yeah. But I feel, which is why I know.
How do you know Will.i.am does fashion?
I'm like, just okay, now I see.
No, I mean, I believe you. I'm just wondering where you got the.
Well, because I heard, because he's on it. Isn't he on it?
Let me just Google.
You know, Gaga has 2 songs called Fashion.
What's the other one?
The other one is the one that she did for the for the soundtrack of Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Oh,
And it was
I
a demo.
out.
It was actually a song that was cut by Heidi Montag first.
You're fucking kidding.
Oh,
You were
very
right
serious.
about Will.i.am and David Guetta are
I know when
involved.
I hear.
Yeah.
Okay, see me trying to act like I knew the whole time, but like when I hear Will.i.am,
You
I
knew.
know Will.i.am.
I wasn't trying to question
No,
you. I was just like, wait, what?
But you were like, how do you know? And I was like, I actually just feel it.
Yeah.
So I don't
Well,
actually
feelings
have
are
any-
stronger than most things.
I don't
I'm just
have
gonna
anything
say
to
it.
Yeah, I don't have any proof to point to, but like I was like, Will.i.am is on this. This is a Will.i.am production. So yeah.
Will.i.am is. I mean, Black Eyed Peas. Like, if you want to come back and do Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, I can't because I'm not.
Are you a
I'm not
P?
qualified.
Oh, you're not. You don't have the qualifications. Actually, I know who to bring back for that because for me, Black Eyed Peas is major, and I know just the person to bring on.
I love Black Eyed Peas. I just am not. I don't have enough.
You didn't go to school for that. You went for the classics.
I went for the classics.
Which actually, you should have learned about the Black Eyed Peas
Yeah,
if you were studying the classics.
You're so right.
But
Money at the Disco Club.
I don't need to say more about fashion.
No,
and
same.
I don't really need to say much about Mary Jane Holland, other than that I love a weed anthem. Mary Jane Holland. Ooh. So this is a weed song. I think she was smoking a ton of weed at this point. If you need more, you can just. But this does make me think of one thing that's worth mentioning, which is
I don't know how.
they're at like some Grammys party and Beyonce sees Lady Gaga smoke like 7 joints in a row and it's terrible.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite like headlines or whatever. It's like Lady Gaga terrifies Beyonce by smoking 7 joints at once or something.
Like I picture them all in her mouth at once.
Just like, hey Beyonce.
And Beyonce's like,
oh no.
I mean, Beyonce, who I love, and you're obviously still a current member of the Bayhive, is compared to Gaga, I think, a lot more on the straight edge side of things. Is that tea to say? I mean, she doesn't smoke weed in my mind.
Beyonce definitely smokes.
Oh.
At this point. I feel
But back then, maybe not. Well, actually, no, there's the video of them back then where she's stoned as fuck, where they're like, what animal would you be? And Beyonce's like,
oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I forget who, I forget if it was Michelle or Kelly who recently came out, or not recently, like came out and was like, we were not stoned. We just were very tired. Like we were on a press tour, like
which is the same
which
thing.
honestly is the same
and
thing.
it's kind of better.
Yeah. So like but I think that, I mean, based on, again, I don't know Beyonce either, but like based on her upbringing and based on like what she was doing, like how her career, like she had a career that was like kind of run, at least at the beginnings of it, by her family.
Yeah.
So like she
Tina and whatever the dad's name is.
Right. And so she wasn't like doing
drugs.
I think that as she's matured and as she's like grown as a human and a person and an adult,
she's loosened up a bit.
She's drunk. Well, she's like, I mean,
she loves drinking.
She drinks
love.
all the time.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that sounded so crazy. Hold on. Wait. I'm so sorry. Let me take
Beyonce's
that
an
back.
alcoholic.
What? I didn't mean it like that. She drinks all the time was a crazy thing for me to say. What I meant was she has no problem drinking. I don't think. Like when you compare her, not to turn this into a Beyonce episode, like
but there's a certain comparison that must be made, and we haven't even mentioned telephone yet or video phone.
Right. She says she has a line on the song "Schooling Life."
Oh, who needs a degree?
Right, where she says. At 14, they would ask me what I want to be. I said, baby 21, so I could get me a drink. I'm like, okay. So
So she was...
It was never giving underage for her.
No, she wanted to wait.
She wanted to drink, but she was like, I'll wait for it.
Right.
But like, she used to never swear on songs.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, there weren't any swears on her music up until like recently.
She started swearing.
She started swearing.
She swears now.
I think it was Self-Titled was her first song with a swear in it.
Self-Titled changed everything and reestablished her as like a sexual like alcohol drinker.
Yes.
Okay.
Alcohol drinker. And I think also a weed smoker. And I think that, I don't know if it's like as a parent as like the alcohol and sex, but like I do
feel that weed is low-key falling off in today's culture a little bit.
I think so too. Like it's not,
or I'm just a little less interested in getting stoned than I used to be. That's not to say I didn't just smoke weed 30 seconds ago.
But I think that it's also right. I mean, I think that what it is that it's not as taboo, and so it's not
more
as,
prevalent.
like, people are not like as stressed about it, or not like oh
and
my
maybe
God.
in some sick way that makes people less interested in
that.
it.
No, yes, exactly.
Anyway, so Mary Jane
Jane
Holland
Holland
leads us into Dope, which, like, this is actually a huge moment. I almost just need to, like, sit with it for a sec, which is, like, there's basically this song called Dope, it was down the street, that starts with, like, really mournful, haunting piano chords and is unlike... I mean, it's shocking to look back at the rest of the album and realize this is on the album. You almost forget it is, because this sounds unlike anything else on this album. You'll hear this more in A Star Is Born, in certain smaller, like in You and I, in her jazz moments. But this is like a full, like, acoustic piano ballad that kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And the chorus, it's called Dope. The chorus goes, my heart would break without you, might not awake without you, been hurt and long from living high for so long.
Okay, the vocals.
The vocals.
Hilton.
Thanks.
Oh
I must sing it. Wait, you're sweet. I need you more than Dope. Like, I think this song is incredibly beautiful. Like, just earnestly, like, I love this song.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And I actually, like, forgot it was on the album until I learned, and I kind of forgot it existed. But re-listening today, I'm kind of like, if I was picking my top songs, I would have to say Aura, I'd have to say Venus, I'd have to say Dope, I'd have to say Gypsy, and I guess those would be my 4, actually.
Okay.
Which is kind of fucking insane of me, but.
No, that's...
It's kind of respectable.
That's respectable.
What would be your 4? Well, first let's do Dope, and then we can get to your 4. Do you like Dope?
I do like Dope. I mean,
You don't like Dope, do you?
No, I like this. I don't have any problem with it. I think that I'm historically slow to...
The ballads.
The ballads.
Oh, see, I'm like, the ballads. The ballads. Like, my dream would be to see the jazz and piano Enigma, but
really?
I haven't seen it. Yeah, like, I like that side of Gaga.
Okay.
Almost, I would say my number 1 Gaga, call me a fucking prostitute or whatever you want to sex worker, would be You and I. I would pick You and I as my number 1. Because I'm a romanticist.
Yeah,
I mean, you studied the classics, you get it.
I get it. No, I mean, I think that, Gaga is a great artist, period. Yeah. But Gaga's a great artist, and part of that is because she can do up-tempo just as well as she can do down-tempo.
Because she has amazing vocals, and people are out there. Like, the other day I was having a conversation about, like, who are the 5 best vocalists in the world? And I put Gaga in mine, and people were like, you're kidding, she is not. And I was like, fuck you, and burn in hell.
She's not about... She's a
beautiful voice.
She has a beautiful voice.
There's arguments to put up.
And she has a beautiful voice, and she also has great technique. I think the reason that people get caught off guard with Gaga, if you put her in, like, a conversation of vocalists, is because, like we were saying before, she likes to do these things with her voice that are so outside the norm of, like, what you think of when you think of vocalists.
She'll growl.
She'll be do very sharp things. Yeah. Very, like,
which is what I love. One thing I really love about her.
No, same. Yeah. But I think that it turns people off when you call her a vocalist, because they're like, they can't, like,
they don't think it sounds.
They can't reconcile those things in their mind. Yeah. And I think that, but it's, I mean, if you listen to her live, or if you listen to her do coverage, you can see, like, she has an instrument there.
She has an instrument, and she would be great in Broadway. Like,
yes,
in the same way as 100%. Ariana. Like, Ariana and Gaga to me are the 2 most Broadway friendly.
Yes. No shade to Ariana. And to be clear, I love Ariana. I've known that Ariana has a Broadway moment in her. Yeah. I've known that. Yeah. But I would sooner say, if you were like, which pop star could do Broadway right now, I'd be like Gaga. 100%. I would rather see Gaga, even though I'm super Arianated at the moment, just because I'm a Wiccan. Wiccan down. And it changed everything for me. And you know what? And I'm campaigning for Ari's Oscar and Cynthia's low-key. Although I think my biggest gag would be Ari to take the Oscar
for this one and Cynthia to take it for part 2, despite the defying gravity factor. But imagine like she misses for this one and like people are upset and then she wins for part 2 in this like redemption. Like that would be cunt. And then we can give it to Mikey Madison for lead this year and like we get to shiver. Oh my god, AJ's dead.
No,
she's bleeding out every orifice.
You really just changed.
I can't believe you didn't know about this theory.
Life. Oh my god.
Oh. No, you have a nosebleed. Like you're gushing.
Okay, I got that. Yeah, the ambulance is on the way. So let's wrap this up before it gets here.
The ambulance is here. Get your tissues.
Wait, I'm really screaming because I didn't.
Did you not think of that?
I didn't think of that at all. Like we had a conversation about how they both should be nominated for their respective categories.
But imagine one wins for one wins for the other, and honestly, it should be Ari first, then Cynthia, because Ari's already like front runner status.
Yeah,
and I think more people were surprised by Ari.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cynthia is just as good, but people maybe knew how good she was, and then like you sort of get like the she was robbed narrative out of part 1, and then give it to her for part 2, which is when Alphaba like really
gets into her bag.
Going. Yeah,
that's crazy, and especially because like I mean, I think we talked about this, but like Alphaba's character. I mean. Glinda's character versus Alphaba's character in the movie, in the show, like Glinda is so much more like ostentatious and so much more of a character, and so it like makes more sense that people are paying attention to like Ariana's portrayal, especially in this first part. But like the real meat and potatoes of the movie, of the show, of the project, whatever,
is
Alphaba. And is Cynthia, and like the way that Cynthia has played her is so calculated. Sounds negative.
Are you saying like restrained? Like
no. Well, maybe I'm trying. I think what I'm trying to say is like she's put a lot of thought into it. She's like very
building an arc.
She's building an arc, and she's very like meticulous about like how she's portraying this character.
Yeah.
And I feel like that gets lost. That's been getting lost.
It's been getting lost. People I think Cynthia is equal. Oh wait, say.
I was just saying that people are exiting the theater being like, "Oh, Ariana did a great job. Cynthia was okay." I'm like,
I think they were equal, if not Cynthia even superior.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
And I want them both to win Oscars just because I was so moved. I didn't grow up loving Wicked. We're now diverging.
We fully diverged.
But like. I didn't grow up knowing Wicked. I'm new to the whole thing as of like the past couple months. But I'm so gagged. I want them both to win Oscars because I watched the movie. I've seen it 3 times now, and I cry.
Have you seen it 3?
I've seen it 3.
I'm jealous. I've only seen it once.
I've seen it 3, and I'm gonna see it 4 when my family's in town next month, which will be probably like right around the time this episode's coming out. But anyway, Dope.
Okay, right. So
is a haunting track that's kind of about her. I think she was struggling with substance abuse at this time, and like I don't know if it was weed addiction. I don't know what dope refers to. Is that weed or crack or whatever?
Well, usually, actually,
what does dope mean? Coke?
Depends on who you ask. I think it can mean a lot of different things. I think it's like it technically, people use it as a replacement for one drug, but I think different people use it for a replacement for different drugs, so which makes it just like a replacement for drugs in general.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is. I mean, I think that yes, she was going through. At the time, she was very, I don't know, dependent sounds very
intense.
Diagnostic, and I'm not obviously a doctor or a whatever.
But
so
you are a lawyer, which is basically the same thing.
She said it, not me. But I can think at the time it was intense with her and drugs. I know.
Yeah.
She said this. This is
this is public knowledge. Like she was doing a lot of drugs during the making of Artpop.
But I don't think, that being said, I don't think that it's, I mean, obviously surfacely it's about drugs, but I don't think that it's actually meant to be about drugs.
I appreciate you saying this because I agree. I don't want this song to be lumped into like drug song category.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really about you finish because, yeah.
I mean, we talked about this a little bit with Jewels and Drugs, but I think it's just like talking about a dependency or a possible dependency on a person, or like maybe it doesn't have to be a person, maybe it's just like a situation or whatever, but like it's her being like, what's the line,
My heart would break without you, might not awake without you. Been hurt and low from living high for so long. I'm sorry and I love you. Sing with me, bell bottom blue. I keep on searching for an answer because I need you more than dope. I need you more than dope.
Okay, see the vocals.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna need to be here for every episode to keep me pumped up. But I for me, it's about like a dependency, a deep aching for a person, and like, please don't leave me. Like, I love you so deeply. Like, you matter more to me than myself. Like an
very unhealthy,
unhealthy dependence on a person. Yes. That's where I land, which I can totally relate to, and I've done that more than once in my life.
Yeah, you and me both, babes.
Yeah, like that's the tea. Dope it's a beautiful song. It shows off her range, and it leads us into the last song before the last song, which is Applause, which we have covered ad nauseum. So really, the last big thing to talk about is Gypsy.
Yes.
Which I kind of think of as the last song, because Applause is technically the last song, but it's
an
really
epilogue.
kind of like a separate thing. It's like an epilogue. Yeah. Like, this is the final chapter. So Gypsy, it was, what did we say, 2013? I was studying abroad in the Netherlands when this album dropped. And so Gypsy is a song that at one point lists like 30 different places in the world, like Amsterdam, Holland, whatever the fuck. And I was like, oh my God, I'm studying abroad. Like, this is just like me.
Right.
And there's a line in Gypsy that made it my favorite on the album at the time, and still one of my favorites, just because I really loved this line, which is, I don't want to be alone forever, but I can be tonight. I don't want to be alone forever, but I can be tonight. And it like made it okay to be single.
Yeah. I think that I think that there's a lot to unpack with this song.
Like, where is Gypsy in the rankings for you?
First of all, to be clear, I love this song.
But
no.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
I love this song.
Yeah.
What I don't love necessarily is the name of it.
Okay, right. Oh, is that a thing? A problematic thing?
Yeah. And especially, and what was crazy was like, it was a problematic thing. I feel like there was so much she had so much going against her at this time, because like,
people wanted to shit on
because like thing. Tumblr was in full effect, and they were like, why is she talking about burkas?
Yeah.
Why is
Gypsy?
she?
Oh,
why
so
does she have these?
This is a huge part of the narrative.
Why does she have R. Kelly on this album? Why is she naming a song? Like, it was just like a lot.
We never
like,
mentioned that this album was critically destroyed.
It was critically destroyed. Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, we didn't get to that. But so like this was. I think the song itself is so good.
Yeah.
I like the message of it. The like sonically. It's so triumphant.
It's triumphant
in such a very
it's self-love
way. Yes.
And it's like celebrating romantic love and friend love and like love of life, like
love of life.
It's a love of life song ultimately.
And I think that and I really feel like it does a great job of being, like you said, like not really the last song technically, but really the last song.
Yeah.
Like it really like wraps up the album in a way that like makes so much sense.
Yeah. It's kind of wholesome.
It's very wholesome.
Yeah.
And I think that it gets a lot of flack for whatever reason.
Well, so the title, I guess the word gypsy isn't really an appropriate word to use.
Yes.
Which I haven't done my due diligence of like really unpacking what that means, but I guess I am aware on some level that like that's not really a word you should use.
Yeah. And well, yes. I mean, that's that.
Is that true? Like, can you say gypsy or not? Like,
no,
I've just said it 30 times. So.
Right. I mean, you really shouldn't. Like, because like, again, I'm not an expert either, but it's a derogatory way to refer to the Romani people.
Oh,
who are
God,
like
I had
this,
no idea.
This like nomadic
people,
and so which is where that like idea comes from of like going to all these places and like being a citizen of the world.
Yeah. Which I just love that message. And
yes, and I think that a lot of people like, especially, and this goes back to what we were saying earlier about do what you want. Like, I don't think that she was trying to say. I mean, obviously, she wasn't trying to like denigrate like
she was trying to push boundaries with this album. That's clear as we walk through it. It's like she did bring up Burka, she did bring up R. Kelly, she did bring up Gypsy. Like clearly she wanted to push some buttons, but I don't think she was ever doing anything with an intention of being derogatory or harming.
I think she wanted people to think about things, which is what she always wants.
And what she achieved, like even if you hate the album, like you did think of something.
But like I feel like sometimes I feel like this was a turning point in her career because her fans let her down. Mm-hmm. In so far as like there wasn't enough I mean, like you just mentioned, like it was critically panned. Yeah. And
this is a lot of the culture turned on her here.
Yes. And like I think that's because she was like, oh, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like you get the vibe.
You get it.
And like
and people
were like, we get the vibe, but we're not gonna say that to anybody, or we're not gonna like be open about it. Or like I don't know, like it was just like nah. I mean, I just feel like she didn't feel supported in her like she was like, here is an ambitious body of work that I've worked on and put out.
And
and it got kind of like
this is kind of the end of Lady Gaga as the first version of Lady Gaga that we knew. I mean, you could divide that into a million versions, like with each album and stuff, but like kind of if you're going like by huge overarching eras, like Lady Gaga from start until Artpop is one, and then we start over with Joanne, 100%. Which is next, and then you go 100%. Into a new era. Yeah, 100%. This is kind of the grand finale of like Lady Gaga as like meat dress, as like this sensationalist new voice in town, and this is kind of like, she starts over with Joanne, I would say, which is a whole other conversation, right. But yeah, I love Gypsy.
I do too,
and I think it's great. And what I wanted to say was there's a live performance of Gypsy. I don't know if you've seen this. It's like she's in Stockholm, I think, and she's wearing a mustache. Oh. And it's like an acoustic performance of Gypsy that happens close to the album release.
I think I have, yes.
And it's probably actually my favorite live performance I've seen of hers, like on YouTube, and it's amazing. And these two girls in the front row of the audience who are like, their faces are wrinkling into raisins because they're sobbing so hard, and it's like, that's us. And it's just like, it's really good. Go check it out. It's the one where she has a mustache and she's wearing all white, and I think it's in Stockholm. Okay, check it out. It's really good. Artpop. I love Artpop.
Well, I mean, speaking of live performances, live quote unquote performances, when it comes to Artpop and like including Gypsy and like a lot of songs on this, we haven't talked about the Muppet Thanksgiving special.
The Muppet Thanksgiving special.
Was it Thanksgiving? It was a holiday special.
So. Which is the one? The condom one is with RuPaul.
Yes.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was Thanksgiving. I might be wrong, but it was a holiday special. I think it's
Thanksgiving. Yeah, there's a holiday special. How does that work exactly? Like, what happens here? I know she does fashion with RuPaul, and she's wearing a condom dress that looks amazing. And are the Muppets in that as well?
The Muppets aren't in that specific performance. Okay, yeah. But like that, but it's all part of the same show. Yeah. I think I don't know. I think she might have done I don't know if she did all the songs, but I know she did Gypsy because I remember hearing all the Muppets singing it. I know she did Venus because same.
Oh yeah. I remember the Muppet Venus.
Yeah. And then there was at least one more that I know she did.
Babble.
But no, that's we saw Chromatica Ball. We weren't sitting by each other, but we did journey there and back together. Yes. She didn't sing Artpop. I don't know that I've ever seen or heard of her singing Dope live.
I don't think so.
Which is interesting to me.
Not that I can recall.
I'm surprised she doesn't do Applause, at least.
I know, because I feel like I said, like, Applause is so palatable and so, like, accessible.
It's so accessible. It's a huge song for her. It's the final song on this. It says 14 tracks here, but it is 15, because Do What You Want exists. Yeah. Wait, what else is there to say about Artpop? Like, we're kind of wrapping up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember if this was... I don't remember when this was said. I don't know if it was art pop era or before, but she at one point said something that has stuck with me, which is pop music will never be lowbrow.
Oh, I love that. I
Um,
agree with that too.
And I do too. And I feel like that kind of just encapsulates the entire just art pop experience. Like,
Art pop is not lowbrow.
No,
It is
absolutely
highbrow.
not. It's
It
very
is
highbrow.
art. It is Roy Lichtenstein. It's Jeff Koons.
Yeah.
It's fucking Thierry Mugler. I don't know who the fuck.
It's a lot of the girls. And I feel like people
Andy Warhol
are just not. I don't know. Like I just feel like I struggled for such a long time being like, I love art pop. It's my favorite Gaga album.
People shat for a while, and now I think
shat.
mostly people have kind of come around.
Yes.
And it's cool to like it again.
Yes.
I always loved it.
Same.
Yeah. Favorite 4 songs on the album. I would normally say 3, but I chose 4.
Yeah.
And then if we could do your album rankings, if you don't mind.
Of all of hers? Oh god. Okay.
That might be too hard.
No, but we'll try it. Favorite 4 on this album: Venus, Applause. Fashion is up there.
Wow, that's cool.
Fashion is up
Cool
there.
pick.
And then maybe
Why do I feel like it's gonna be
Sex Dreams. Yeah,
What kind of is Sex Dreams for you?
that's the 4. I think that because I'm trying to decide between. I think that Fashion. I can't tell if Fashion is 4 and Sex Dreams is 3 or vice versa. But like,
you did yours in order.
I tried to. Yeah.
Are you noticing that I have saved Aura, Venus, GUI,
Yeah, I've been looking at
Donatella, Gypsy, and Applause, which I don't have Dope saved, but let me save it.
Yeah, I noticed those when you were scrolling through. No, yeah, in order: Venus, Applause. I think I'm trying to decide between Fashion and Sex Dreams. I could have also
it could be
like,
a tie.
top 5. Well, the problem,
Yeah,
the
what's
real
the fifth?
issue is that like top 5 is GUI, and I don't know.
Yeah, I love GUI.
I'm trying to make sure that like it is 5 and not like 4. Like, you know what I mean? Like, those 3 are like a little bit hard for me to separate.
I think I would go, if I'm doing it in order, Venus, Gypsy, Aura, Dope, GUI. Actually, that's not true, but those are like circling the top.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
like,
really rank
it's
them.
hard. It's hard.
Album-wise,
Okay, this is definitely number 1.
Okay.
So we can start there.
you can do that. I can't say that for myself.
Okay.
It's so hard. I mean, so to walk through what the albums are, there's
Yeah.
Fame Monster, Born This Way, Art Pop, Joanne, Cheek to Cheek, Stars Born soundtrack, Love for Sale, Chromatica, and Harlequin. Right? So there's 10 out according to my books, which means this is LG11, not LG7. I don't know where they get their numbers
Yeah, I
from.
don't know. I mean, again, like I told you, they only care about pop.
Yeah.
So, I am going to, unfortunately, they only care about pop. Anyway, so I'm not all the jazz ones.
Let's just take Cheek to Cheek and Love for Sale and Harlequin off the table.
Yes, so those are going to be my bottom 3.
So those are bottom 3 for me as well. So like now going to the 7, which is Fame Monster, Born This Way, Art Pop, Joanne, Chromatica, Stars Born soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I already said Art Pop is number 1. I think that Born This Way has really come from behind.
Yeah.
And it might be number 2 for me.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm fairly certain of that.
Yeah.
Then
It's
I
hard.
think I'm gonna do the Fame Monster over the Fame.
Yeah, that is gonna be true.
But like they're back to back.
It's
Like,
so
it's Fame Monster
hard.
and
How do you
Fame.
do this?
Yeah, it is difficult.
I like
Because it's
kind of can't do it,
you
but
have
I'm
to,
gonna
like,
try.
Yeah, well,
Because like Chromatica and Stars Born are really important too, and
That's-
Joanne, honestly,
and Joanne.
I love.
I think Joanne is. I think I'm ranking Joanne over Stars Born,
Okay,
but I don't know if I'm ranking Chromatica over Stars Born or not.
I love Chromatica. There's a
I do
world where I
too.
put Chromatica number 1, but I don't think I will.
I'm going back and forth between Chromatica and Joanne for the next 2 spots, and I think Stars Born is last.
Okay, and then for me,
only because
Yeah.
like Stars Born. Not that it's a bad album, but I feel like it's like the least
her.
Her.
Well,
right.
it isn't her.
It's not her.
Really.
Right. So
like you could. There's an argument, and I think the people who are pushing the term LG7 would argue Star is Born is not. But I think it is. And I think I would go so hard. I might go. I'm just gonna be crazy, and this is just today. This isn't canon, but I'm gonna go. Born This Way, Chromatica, Fame Monster, Artpop, Star is Born, Fame, Joanne. Which isn't how I even feel moments after saying it, but I just said something to say it.
Say it again.
I said Born This Way, Chromatica, Fame Monster, Artpop, Star is Born, Fame, Joanne. Okay. And I didn't mean that, but I just had to do something.
No, sure. I mean, and that's a fair ranking.
I like Joanne a lot, honestly, and I love the Fame, and I love them all. Like, I don't know. And Born This Way, I have skips on, so like I don't even know. I mean, Chromatica is really high up, but I do have skips. Whatever.
I think that the thing that you have to. I feel like people forget when they're doing rankings like this, especially when it comes to someone like Gaga or like Beyonce or like whatever. It's like, for me to say that this is my least favorite album, that still is like better than most other albums.
And that's why it's unfair to
so it's
like.
Not even like I'm not saying like anything bad about it. I'm just saying like
if I had to
choose out of these 7 albums.
If I'm really going based on most skips per album, is I guess a good way to maybe do it. And in that case, like. Ultimately, it might mean that Fame Monster suddenly becomes number 1.
Oh, wow.
In terms of no skips.
What are your skips on Artpop?
On Artpop, I would skip Manicure.
Yeah.
I'd probably skip Jewels and Drugs.
Okay.
And this is interesting, but depending on the mood, I sometimes would need to skip Swine.
Okay. No, and I get that.
Even though I like Swine a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I asked, because like we talked about what we like and we don't like.
Yeah.
But like skips are a specific thing.
Skip is a specific thing. Like if I'm not ready for Swine, I can't do Swine. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say like sometimes you can skip something, and it can be like like I like it, but I just don't like how it feels at this like in this section of it,
right?
Or like I don't feel it today, or like
sex dreams I'll actually sometimes skip.
Okay, so exactly. I guess,
what would you skip on here?
I don't. I mean, I used to skip. Like I said, I used to skip Artpop. Sometimes I do skip Mary Jane Holland.
So do I actually.
Sometimes.
So do I.
Depending on how I feel. Yeah. But like again, I like both of those songs now, so it's not like like I'm skipping it because
right. No, it's just sometimes the mood.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually feel like we've covered it.
Yeah.
Closing remarks, or do you have anything else to say? Otherwise, we might be... I just want to say, like, this was heaven. Your heaven. Oh God, it's an honor that you've been here. And I'm going to ask you to come back soon, like, maybe for another Gaga album or a Beyonce album or
happy to do
something.
So.
Like,
happy to do
we haven't even really touched the Beehive yet on this show.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. You're brilliant.
Oh, thank you so much. I don't believe it, but I will accept it from you.
I hope you believe it, and I hope we both believe that about ourselves.
I hope so too, because I do hope that you believe it for yourself.
I don't always, but I'm working on it.
So
yeah,
we actually both need to.
Also, the word brilliant. I watched Harry Potter 6 last night, which last night was Christmas. And they say brilliant so much, and it's like, let's start saying brilliant.
Brilliant. I mean, it's very British.
British, yeah.
It's very British.
British.
There's a lot of British slang that I would love to like to appropriate. Mate isn't that Australian?
I think it's both.
You know what? I think you're right.
I think it's both.
We are.
What is happening?
What is going on? That's just what this sounds like. What is happening?
It's the art rave.
Okay, period.
Oh, I went to the art rave. Did you?
No.
Oh.
I'm very jealous.
Like I don't mean like the opening night thing. I mean like the tour.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But I'm still jealous. I was saying last night that the first time I saw Gaga live was for Joanne. Oh. And it was an interesting...
I was there in New York.
Yeah. It was an interesting...
And it was raining.
Yeah. It was a very interesting first Gaga show to go to, because it's like... Especially, I mean, again, like I said, like seeing this era... And then also, like, going back and seeing her, like, previous eras on Tumblr. like seeing how those tours looked and like what the productions she was giving for those.
Yeah.
To go to Joanne, I was like, so did she just forgot
She
how
stripped it
to
down.
give a tour? Like,
But I loved that tour because they were pulling people out of the nosebleeds who wore like crazy outfits and bringing them to the front.
Really?
So like the distance between you and me right now is the distance I was from her as she played piano for you and I. Like I was in the fucking front because we got pulled out of the nosebleeds.
Wait,
and
I
it was
love that
like,
for
and it
you.
was pouring rain and there was like
Yeah.
lightning and
Yes.
it was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that for you though.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have good seats?
They were like, okay.
Okay.
I mean, we weren't nosebleeds, so they
Okay.
were definitely not looking
Okay,
at
right.
us. I went with Michael and you know Megan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the three of us went.
I run into her like every other day on the sidewalk randomly.
She's
everything.
I love her.
Yeah.
She's
If you're out there, Meg, and you're hearing this, like you're king
loved.
and you're loved. Yeah.
The three of us went, and before we went, we ate at what is it called?
Chick-fil-A.
Close enough. The isn't that called?
Oh, Joanne Trattoria.
Joanne's
Oh,
Trattoria,
you guys
yeah.
did it right.
We went to
Okay.
Joanne's Trattoria.
Same thing, by the way.
And then
both
we went
like
to
highly conservative restaurants.
Right, no, that's what I said. It might as well be the same thing. And it was an interesting. It was actually, I feel like that really made the experience.
Yeah, the food there is horrible, and when I went there, they were blasting Katy Perry.
That's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy. They don't
Katy
have
Cat's
any
one.
type of-
No, that restaurant is
That's
different.
fine.
I need to go again.
I kinda
immediately.
do.
I wanna talk about. We'll just keep talking. We'll just keep talking. Just keep talking. Talking. For so long. Oh, we're babbling on. We're babbling
Babbling On was created, produced, and edited by Hilton Dresden. The theme song is by Benny Cotoletta, featuring Callie Baker, and is produced by Benny Cotoletta and Jack Krause. The artwork is by Hilton Dresden. Audio consultation from Kenzie Woodrow and Dallas Seeker. Special thanks to Alec Cohen, Natalie Rotter-Waitman, Molly Montgomery, Nick Krause, and to everyone who has subscribed to Babbling On the Substack and refused to shut the fuck up.